Do 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 do. What's up, peoples? How's it going? I actually have a really good idea right now. We're starting stream pretty early, and not only are we starting stream early, but we're also starting stream early, and we're gonna have a little bit of a fun little pre-show before we get Rob on here for Q&A. And I'll explain what it is in a second, but first I'm going to start up some music so that y'all can enjoy this. I'm currently playing Straylight, which is a game that you can find on Steam, and the music was completely composed by our friend tonight, our collab guest tonight, Rob Kovacs. Pretty cool. So check this out. It's a groove. It's a good groove. Check it out, everybody. Uh-oh, I don't know why that's happening. Didn't like that too much. Yeah, we're getting everybody together. We're gonna do Sandwich of the Week we're gonna do it earlier than normal tonight, just so that we get it rolling. Rob does not have a sandwich tonight, so we're gonna go ahead and just do the Sandwich of the Week segment before we do our Q&A. And then we got one other guarantee for you coming up at the top of the hour, which I will reveal as soon as we get to stream. Oh, very exciting stuff here, folks. We got all kinds of food. Hope you're well. Happy weekend, happy day. Actually, we have a few things. We have a few additional things to announce at the top of the show, so we will. So hi, friends. How you doing? Hey, Chachito! What up? Good to see ya. Buenas noches. Or, bienvenidos. Vera! What's up? It's good to see you too! Hi there! Alright, let's go ahead and start our stream. I am so glad to see you all here. Hello there. Nice to have you joining us early. We're going to do a special early Sandwich of the Week this evening. Haven't been here for a while. Oh, you picked a good night to return. We have a really good guest coming up tonight. And he is an incredibly talented VGM musician, Rob Kovacs. And we'll tell you, Rob will share a story with us shortly. Let me go ahead and come on here and say hello to y'all. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. My name is Davey. I'm a variety streamer out of Los Angeles, California. And I do want to just set up a couple things here before we get going. But I do want to announce really quickly off the top, the Raid Amaranth Community Challenge has been canceled once we found out that Amaranth signed a giant contract with Kick. So that basically means she won't be on Twitch that much, if at all. So we figured it was in the best interest to just cancel it. All of your points, if you put in points for this challenge, they have been refunded. If you do not see your points, please let me know in DMs or whispers or what have you. And I'm sorry, friends, but it's all right. We still have a lot of fun things we can do, and we got Sandwich of the Week coming up in just a moment or two. So pretty exciting. More points for beans. Yep. So we're gonna give everybody an open window. For unlimited Bean Boozled redeems from 9 o'clock to 9:15 when we start our spot with Rob Kovacs. Now, here's the thing about it. There is a little catch to it, and you'll see what it is when we reactivate the Bean Boozled tonight. I do also want to mention that we will not get to do the I had to turn the Mentos trick back off because I forgot to get Diet Coke this weekend, so sorry about that too. Hopefully that's back for the next stream. So, my bad on that. Is there anything else I should go with here? Let's see. And one other announcement. I'm gonna be a guest on a show On Saturday, I'm going to be at Jazzy Show, Jazz VK, on Twitch, and as part of her series Mer Talk. So she has a podcast too, within her channel, and I'll get to do an interview on Jazzy Show. And I'm very excited about that. It's always fun to be on the other side of an interview, so I look forward to that spot. Make sure to check out our friend Jazzy. Beans are the magical fruit. What's up, Crickster? What's up? Yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, I'm looking forward. You'll find us at 2 o'clock Eastern on Saturday, July 1st. So I recommend that spot. It'll be really good. I mean, Jazzy's a very good interview as well. She's already had some pretty cool spots with Jomsy and Josh Turk, among others. So I believe it'll be a very good conversation, and I highly encourage you all to follow our friend Jazzy now. Check it out. All right, so here's the deal. Let's see who comes through for these point redeems, folks. We're gonna find out. But what I'm also gonna do is I'm going to do sandwich of the week a little earlier tonight. So I will keep the sandwich I have tonight available for people to enjoy, to recap for anybody else who happens to be around. So be glad to do that. So let's bring it in. We're gonna do this first. We're gonna bring this in, folks. Everyone's favorite staple of the show. And if anyone, and those of you who joined us early for this, I appreciate you all being here tonight. Here we go. It does seem like I am concerned about these notifications getting out. I'm not sure if everyone's getting them, but I can tell you with certainty that we are ready for our staple of the show. And it is what we call the sandwich of the week. And it's just me tonight. So, let me show you what it is as we bring our music tonight from Straylight back up into the mix. Oh, you've not? Miss Fairmay, you are in for a treat. Well, here it is. Tonight's sandwich of the week is a portobello mushroom burger from, and just to be clear, it's a hamburger with mushrooms on top. So it's not just mushrooms. It is a grilled charred burger from the Habit Burger Grill in Southern California. It's good. It looks good. Look at the dressing too. I love the claw going with grilled onions in this too. It looks great. With this tonight, we are going to enjoy some limited time only spicy green beans, and also some onion rings and some fries. So that's what we got tonight. I'm very excited about it. Let me go put some ketchup here, so I can enjoy some ketchup with all these cool treats. And then at the top of the hour, as I mentioned, we're gonna start our bean adventure. So let's enjoy. I'm just gonna have a little bit of this because I know we have a lot. Well, thank you very much, Farrah. I'm glad you like it. I'm sorry I made you so hungry again, but away we go. This will be fun to enjoy. I don't know this piece. This is my favorite track on this on the Straylight soundtrack. Let's check it out. Yeah, all the sides, everything tonight. It's close though. There's cheese in it, I think. But hi, King. Good to see you, King. How's it going? Welcome, my friend. I only have 50 billion points. Whatever will I do? Oh no. Oh, this is good. It's very juicy. Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Farrah, I'm so sorry about your food poisoning. Oh gosh. Only crackers. Farrah says, I'm recovering from food poisoning. I had crackers and soup today. Oh man. So sorry. Hope you're feeling better soon. What is the protein in that sandwich? This is a this is a burger. It's a hamburger. Beef hamburger topped with portobello mushrooms. and grilled onions. Oh, there we go. And all the usual accompaniments: mayonnaise, mayonnaise and lettuce. I don't know if there's tomato in here. Rings? Yes, we have both today. We have onion rings and fries, and these green beans, which we should try right now. Let's try these right now. Ooh, it's pretty good. I like them. Spicy green beans. These are good. Ooh. Right, Brenda? These do look good, and I'm happy to say they taste just as good as they look. Mmm. I like this. This is good. So I'll save the rest of this for later, so like other folks can sample these treats as well. I'm just soaking this in. This is so good. So, friends, what have you all had for dinner tonight? I have one onion ring. One onion ring. Mmm. It's good. So this is how the barn burner gets started. Oh, yeah. I'm enjoying this now because I know it's coming. I know it's coming at 9. It's great to see you, King. How are you? How'd the rest of your trip go, by the way? It sounds like you, or are you still in the rest of your trip? That trip looked amazing, King. King Sandbreaker was on vacation. It looked like an awesome vacation. Brenda, your meal sounds fantastic. Oh, you're home now? Okay. I'm glad you're tired. Oh, I can imagine. Our friend King was traveling the old country. The country of the. He was in the UK for about a week. Jet lag for sure. Jet lag, says King. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I hear you there. But Brenda's meal, getting ready to serve barbecue chicken, rice, and fresh corn. I'm about to pump it up for Brenda there. That's an amazing meal. Fantastic. Well, thank you all for gathering tonight. We are so excited to hang out with Rob Kovacs, who, by the way, just composed the music you're listening to right now. This is really good. This is from a new game called Straylight, which is out. I think it just came out this year. And you can find it on Steam, and you can find the soundtrack on major music streaming platforms, or you can get it on Bandcamp. Oh, you're welcome, Brendan. Absolutely. Absolutely. UK and Europe, says King. That's a comprehensive trip. This is such a jam, this entire soundtrack. Like, just post my dinner chance. Love it, Crickster. I'll give it a quick peek. Ooh, nice. Crickster says, oh, yeah. Let me see. Let's see if I have the wherewithal to display this. I think I do. Give me just a blank. Yeah, that'll do it. Alright, so this is the sandwich that Crickster had tonight. I have just enough time to display this. Let's see. Then we're gonna get right to it. Okay, no worries, Brenda. Thank you for the lurk. Appreciate you being here tonight, Brenda. Very kind. All right, folks, here it is. I'm gonna turn these off. We don't really need these on right now. And now, dun dun dun. Here is the no, I do this all the time. This one. I hope that was on the general tab somewhere. Oh gosh. Oh no, it was just on the tab. It was on the. Okay. So that's the Crickster 82 sandwich. Is that from? I was wondering if that was from Jimmy John's. That looks really good. That looks very, very good. Nicely done. Like, good pick. Good call. Okay. So, who's ready? You're in the food tab, not your OnlyFans. Exactly. Okay, good. That's good. Speaking. Good news. Good news. Good news for everybody. No, I will never eat Jimmy John's. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. So is it a local place? Fascinating. Well, we're getting pretty close. So I'm gonna go. Let me just go. Let me just link up with touch base with Rob. Just let him know. Look at that. Padua Pasta Makers make fresh pasta daily too. Oh, sweet. It is from a little Italian deli cafe here. Okay, I like it. I like the mom and pops. Sweet. All right. We have 4 minutes until we're doing the thing. All right. Bring it on. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm ready. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for you. We'll see how this goes. Okay. So I'm gonna invite Rob officially. Okay. Y'all are wild. But we knew that by now. Is there too much light on me? I tell you, I still am trying to figure out lighting. I figured out the back. I haven't figured out the front yet. So, all good. Fixture says, start stretching my finger muscle for point redemption. I can only imagine how many people are going to redeem this tonight. We shall find out momentarily. I got plenty of water. All right. I should have enough beans. I should have enough beans. Look how the people finally in for this. People want this. All right. Game on. Game on. I'm ready. Game on. I am ready for this. I'm ready for your redeem. For all your redeems. Hilarious. I love it. Music is so intense too. I probably would just leave this on and not do the usual Bean Boozled music. Because we're gonna do 15 minutes of this, so I feel like we should just leave it the way it is. I think we're good there. Alright. How are you doing? Okay, we're counting down. We are down to 2 minutes. I absolutely love this. I love this. I love it. I got the button ready. Now, just a reminder: if you don't see the button after I initiate the Bean Boozled redeem, refresh the page just to make sure. Just make sure. All right. So I gotta keep my activity feed open, don't I? For those of you tuning in late, I'm gonna show you sandwich of the week. We did sandwich of the week very early tonight. So here it is. It is a mushroom topped with portobello. I'm sorry, it is a burger topped with portobello mushrooms and grilled onions. Really, really good. We also have onion rings, fries, and spicy green beans tonight. Miss Fairmay asks, how does this work? Are you just going to stuff them on your face like a chipmunk, or the pain and suffering one bean at a time? The idea is to go one bean at a time. So I'm not, as they come, I'll try them one by one. I'll just quickly say which one each one is. That's what I'm hoping to do. It just depends on how many of these we get in one sitting. If we get like 50 of them in one sitting, then it gets interesting. We'll see. Damn, I don't know how to add quotes. I think that's a mod thing. So, King, would you be willing to add a quote? Is it time? Oh, it is. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, folks. It's all yours. Go for it. Good luck. Oh, I think the Q quote is just exclamation point quote. There's 1. There's 2. Oh my god. There's 3. All right, I got 3 so far. Here we go. And then like the delay is like people like going back to the button to push it again. All right, this is Stinky Socks and Tutti Frutti. 4. I think it's Tutti Frutti. 5. Oh my gosh, I ain't angry. Holy god. Holy cow. Okay. We got this one. This is butter popcorn or rotten egg. Ugh, rotten egg. I'm gonna keep going. Mods, let me know if I missed any. Ugh. This will give me a chance to catch up, though. This one's either marshmallow or stink bug. Ah! Ugh. The pictures of stink bug is your favorite. Very corroborates. All right. I think you guys are just showing mercy for no. You're just showing mercy. That's actually kind of you. This is either gonna be barf or peach. Barf. I have to chew quickly. I have to get through these quickly. King, I love that quote. I haven't figured out the back. I haven't figured out the front yet. This is either gonna be what is strawberry smoothie, banana smoothie, or rotten or dead fish. This is Human Juke 81's least favorite bean by a mile. Ooh! Yeah, I got the good one. I'm gonna chew this one longer. Oh yeah. Thanks for the pump it ups. Rob Kovacs, props to you. This is great bean music. So good. Last one in the queue for now. This is either going to be birthday cake or dirty dishwater. Dirty dishwater. Okay, so I got one good bean out of like 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, only 5. Okay. But I also promised for Homo that when he shows up, I get to do 5 because of the whole thing, the whole community challenge breaking down. So we actually will add 5 whenever Homo gets here. And that was before I initiated this whole offer. Like, this is like, I was gonna do that anyway. This is the most bad beans I've seen from you. But so I really appreciate you doing that, I and Angry. Thank you so much for your points. And Likewise, Crickster82 and Miss Vera May. The tally. Vera with 1 redeem, Crickster with 1, and I and Angry with 3. That's definitely a lot of one sitting, isn't it? Definitely. Whew, I'm caught up though. So, woot to me. Does anybody else want to redeem? You have 11 more minutes. For now, right? Exactly, for now. Oh no, you're out of points. I'm sorry, Vera. If I had the points, I would. I'm sorry. I can see that was a decent decision then. I didn't want to get. I sometimes were homo with my crystal ball. Oh, I ain't angry. He's gonna be here to play, folks. All right, got one more. All right, cool. Oh no, no, I can't. All right, that's at least 2 more. Okay. Ah, you're very kind, King. King says, "I got you, Miss Vera May." All right, so here they are. This is, so this one's either gonna be toasted marshmallow again or stink bug. Wait. Uh-oh. I think it's stink bug. I literally don't know. Yikes. Good? I think so. I'm not sure yet. I'll try this one. This is buttered popcorn or rotten egg. Ooh, buttered popcorn. Yeah. So good. So good. So good. Cashmere feline. Apparently toasted marshmallow tastes just like stink bugs. I think in sequence it does. It's so nice to meet you, by the way. Welcome to the Sandwich Show. It's so nice to see you. We're very excited to talk to Rob Kovacs in just about 9 minutes. I hope you're well. I do want to give Rob a lot of props for the for his charity stream on Saturday. It went really well. Raised over $2,000 for charity. In the increase for the means of increasing access to mental health access to mental health awareness. I think I'll let Robert explain that a little better, but it was a phenomenal stream. A lot of challenge goals were met. Really cool. Oh, absolutely, Kashmir, you're absolutely right. Panda, so good to see you too. So good. Rob's so talented. He really is, and we're playing the music from his recent release, Straylight. It's the soundtrack to the game of the same name, which is available on Steam, and it is very, very good. Let's see, Panda. Yeah, Panda, so good to see you again. Welcome in. And hi, Kit Loves Coffee. Oh, Kit Loves Coffee. So good to meet you too. Nice to meet you. I wonder how you found that out. Do we have any more redeems? We do not. You've only got 7 minutes left, friends. Hi. Nice to meet you too. Crickster says, you said so good 3 times in a row. The dueling piano junkie and me had to sing Sweet Cat. Oh, I got it. So good. Oh, Chris M. Yee, thank you so much for the follow. Oh, there we go. No one more from Maya and Angry. Keither, thank you for the resub. Almost said redub. Keither, it's been a minute. How you been? Oh, hold on, Keither. Let me go throw this together. I also want to shout out Keither. Oh, can you shout out Keither for me? Thank you so much. Okay, 2 more beans. All right, so the first one's going to be... Oh, Kit Loves Coffee. Thank you so much for the follow. You're very kind. This is definitely a regular feature we do. We love to have interviews with other people on Twitch and other platforms. It's really fun to chat with the people we love on the internet. And so this one's either going to be Kashmir. Thank you for the follow as well. Welcome to Sam Fam. It's nice to meet you all here. So this is either gonna be birthday cake or dirty dishwater. Absolutely, Keither. Hope you're hanging in there. Hope you're doing well. Keither has a really cool trivia gaming stream going right now. So anytime you can see Keither on, it's really been, it has for sure, for sure. I missed you, my friend. This one's either gonna be, come on, liver and onions or cappuccino. Ugh. Okay, so I had dirty dishwater, cappuccino. I really have. I thought there were gonna be 30 redeems. I realized that I increased the value to 5,000 points. Because if I didn't do that, it would have been a bloodbath in here. So we still got a pretty decent return, but gotta be honest, I was hoping for a little bit more. But we did well, and I ain't angry. You're very kind to redeem all those. It would have been chaos for sure. Do we have one more? We do. I think you're angry. And two more. Keither says you had the liver and just one a few weeks ago. Not good. Oh no, Keither. So sorry. Oh man. Again? The same two. Liver and onions and toasted marshmallow. Well, let's do toasted marshmallow and or stink bug. I think stink bug. I really don't know. I can't tell. The flavors are blending together now. I have no idea. I can't tell. This is nuts. I am desensitized to the tastes now. Me too. I know, right? Miss Fairmay, it's hilarious that you can't tell anymore. I can't tell. This is crazy. I'm gonna try this one. Now I'm like really sucking on it just to make sure. Yeah, this is the liver. Ugh. Oh, okay, right on. Rob, welcome in. Good to see you. Almost ready. Okay, cool. Take your time, my friend. Take your time. Crichter says, are you opposed to eating jelly beans past your Best Buy date? No, because they can't taste worse than these. I mean, it would. I feel like for me, it'd be about a wash at the worst. But the one that's kind of tough, though, I'll be honest. Did I think you could do another one? I think so. Let me go ahead and throw that in there too. Even if you didn't, I'll just do it anyway. This one's either Stinky Socks or Tutti Frutti. Let's do one round. Oh. I'm not wasting my points on me. Jamie, since you're here, shout out Jamie, by the way. Here's what we got tonight. We got the burger. Topped with portobello mushrooms and grilled onions. We got the spicy green beans. We got onion rings. We got fries. Sivinia, so nice to meet you. Hello there. Hello to you as well. How are you tonight? Jamie says, now I'm hungry. I feel you, Jamie. This is an awesome looking meal. It tastes just as awesome as it looks, I'm happy to say. So, Clay, oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. How's it going? Hope you saw that meal right now. We also happen to have, a precious 2 minutes remaining if you want to redeem Bean Boozled. 2 more minutes to go, then it's gone for the night. Except in the scenario where Homo were to show up in chat, like later in the stream, and then at that point we will do 5 more beats. But other than that, we'll be shutting down the redeem for the night. But we'll bring it back to the next stream, of course. So 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. So good to see you, Clay. How you doing? Savinius, let me know how you pronounce that name. I'd love to make sure I get that correct. I'll take it from there. Hope you're well, everybody. Nice to have you here on a Monday. Beautiful weather outside for a lot of folks. Clay says, how am I doing? Well, thanks. How are you, Davey? That's a very complex answer. I think in general I'm doing well. Work has been just a disaster. My workplace is not a good environment, folks. But outside of that, I've been doing pretty well. I celebrated my mom's birthday this weekend. That was awesome. Like, it was great to hang out with the family over the weekend. And it was great. Just great that I got to celebrate that. As far as the work is concerned, I am applying to other jobs, like other IRL jobs, in addition to what I do here on Twitch. So, looking forward to that. No one has offered me a $100 million contract to work anywhere, so I don't believe that's going to be my future career-wise. But I'm happy to do this for free. Meanwhile, it's really not about the money. I love just hanging out and sharing all these fun things with you, and getting to know all the other cool people on the platform, and promoting all of you, basically. So it's always fun. Keith, this is what kind of work do you do? I'm a systems administrator. I'm an IT guy. I do manage computer servers and accounts and email accounts. I manage file permissions, boring stuff, you know. Bro, sandwich consultant. All right, you know what this means. Oh, okay, Rob, great. I got 5 beans. I will try to find a spot for them, Rahomo. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. So good to see you. Can we shout out Rahomo as well? Okay. Okay. So we will get these 5 beans in rotation. We'll find a spot for these. There they are. We'll get to those when I have a chance. Okay. I may have a lead for you. Okay, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. I'd be glad to. I'll take your lead. I'll go ahead and whisper that to me. So let's do this. Here we go. Let us give Rob a moment to join in with us. And thank you again, everybody, for doing the thing. I was so good to see you, Rahomo. I'm sorry about that the community challenge did not work out, but as I mentioned, we have a refunding points. I will mention just last look at this sandwich before we get to Rob's spot with Rob. Burger, portobello mushrooms, spicy green beans, onion rings, fries. It's a great meal. That's our sandwich of the week this week, everybody. Okay, hold on. Connection problem, huh? Okay, let me double check that. No, I hear you. Can you hear me? Let's see. No, I hear you.
Check. It's working?
Yeah, I hear you. Hello?
I don't hear you yet. I don't hear you. Check. It's working? Oh, I can see you. Hear me, but I can't. Let's see. Hold on. It's probably my end. Why can't I hear you?
Chat saying hello to you, Rob. Davey, you're a spicy green bean.
I hear you.
Okay. I can try,
Huh.
Let me see.
Is there something?
Let me try one thing, folks. Try one thing. I try to remember which of these it is. Is it this one?
Huh.
Okay. How's that? Can you hear me now?
I have not had this problem yet. Let's see.
Hold
on. Oh, let's see. Okay, try now.
Okay, check.
There we go. With my end. I fixed it.
We got it. All right.
Now I can hear you.
Hey, I hear you too. Okay, great. So, let's say hello, folks, to our guest tonight, the VGM musician and composer, our good friend Rob Kovacs. Welcome to the show tonight. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. Kavinius, Kashmir, Schneegel, Eklund, Panda Volta. Welcome, everyone. Kit loves coffee.
I love it. Yeah, it's so good to see you. How was your? I would ask normally, whenever we have a guest on a Monday, how was your weekend? But I think I know the answer because your charity stream went incredibly well. I'm so happy for you and for everybody for all that you've done. It's an amazing effort. $2,000 raised. I mean, really good stuff. If you could offer a recap for those who missed it.
Yeah, thank you. We did a charity stream this weekend for Hope for the Day, which is a organization that helps promote mental health awareness and suicide prevention, and a big proponent of mental health. It's been a huge part of my life, and I was happy to help support partner with them and do a charity stream. And yeah, we went for 7 hours, played music for 7 hours, did a bunch of shenanigans, put beard clips or butterfly clips in my beard every $100. Did a different several little unlockable and milestone things. Some food challenges. Ate a serrano pepper. Ate
Wow.
an egg with the shell still on it. Chat loves that one apparently. So, and we
Oh,
raised at $2,000, which is so generous. We have such an amazing community. So many generous people came through, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I was really relieved that it went so well.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, big time props. I mean, really good stuff. I mean, now I know you've probably done a few streams like that before. Like, what are some of the challenges that you what are some of the things that you would that it takes to plan a stream like that? Like, and like for example, planning out these different challenges. I mean, how, what goes into the thought process of coming up with these with these milestones? And obviously, so many of them were met. It was rather remarkable. Like, I did appreciate the food challenges too. Just being a foodie myself, like it was really fun.
Yeah, I like the food challenges. I like eating different things or trying to or doing weird things that aren't that weird but seem weird to everybody else. Like apparently eating a kiwi with the skin on it is weird to a lot of people, but it's totally fine.
Oh wow,
Um,
you lost your video for some
but
reason. Hmm. But I can keep going.
yeah, some of the challenges. I actually find it really stressful to do these charity streams. This is the second big one that we've done on Twitch. The challenge, there's a lot of challenges. One is that coming up with milestones that I think will be interesting enough that will entice and encourage people to donate, and do something new, not just have like a regular stream. But I feel like maybe I put it on myself, but a lot of pressure to try to do something special or unique. Um, I, I, the other challenges are just like making sure you have everything set. So I did this through soft givings, and they're like kind of like the middleman here that
Hmm.
set the connection up and between me and Hope for the Day, and they give me the overlays to use, and they have a protocol like all like things that I have to do, things I have to talk about, show videos, make
Hmm.
sure I know enough about the charity and how they work, so I could talk about them. So getting all these different things set up is the biggest challenge,
Hmm.
and that's something I struggle with a lot. I talk about this on my stream a lot about it, like I have a lot of ADHD symptoms. Though I don't have a diagnosis, I have a lot of the symptoms, and probably just undiagnosed. So, uh, like the day before, I was just struggling to get everything ready until midnight when I finally actually got going, and thanks to some help by Cashmere Feline, who's been a very helpful friend this year. With her help, I've finally got things moving. So it's a lot, just like yeah, a lot of anxiety, just like trying to get this stuff ready, and a lot of little things that easily can be forgotten.
Oh yeah, you're very much true. Well, it all came together really smoothly. It definitely looked smooth from the when I was lurking in there for a little bit, Rob. We lost your camera for some reason for a little bit. We lost your camera for some reason, so feel free to try to reestablish that. But we hear you fine. So
Ah, okay. Let me try something.
okay,
Can I wonder if I can change my camera source.
no worries. We'll hang out
I
here.
always try to use my OBS camera source when
Hmm?
I've done these guest stars, and it says the host or mod disabled my camera, but I see it's not working on my end. I always try to use. Wait, why did it turn off? Hold on.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
Got you back.
how about now?
Hello, welcome back.
Weird. It was just turned off. Maybe I accidentally hit the off button.
Oh, okay. Cash. No, but all in all, that really cool. Like it's as you mentioned, there are a lot of layers that go into it. So really neat, and it's an exciting time. You're in the middle of a partner push, and so far the numbers have looked, as you mentioned on your Instagram. I corroborate that. Like it looks like things are on track. That's great to see. I mean, do you feel the excitement of that? Do you feel the nervousness of that too, as you try to get the requisite qualifications to make partner status?
Yeah, I do. I feel a lot. I feel both. A lot of the entertainment. I mean, a lot of the excitement, and also a lot of the nerves on my end. Um, so the main prerequisite you need to hit is an average of 75 concurrent viewers throughout the month. So I've hit that now for a couple weeks, and I've already applied to partner once because had a front page feature for a month, a year and a half ago, January, and so when you get a front page, you get hundreds and sometimes thousands of viewers. So that automatically like opened the door to apply for partner, though I'd never really had the 75 concurrent viewers. And so I applied in October, right after TwitchCon, and that was around like 65 or so concurrent viewers. And I put my best application out, talked about our community and stuff I've done outside of Twitch, and was hopeful, but ultimately they denied it with the reason being like, well, you just don't have high enough numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And so this time around, right now we're at like 85 for the month, and I have just through friends who have know some people at Twitch. What I'm hearing is they're being a little more um, specific about what they're looking for, and they want currently every stream to be above 75. That's just what I've heard. So I have one stream right now that is that where my computer crashed and I had to restart the stream.
Ooh.
And I lost like half my viewers doing that. So that's I have one stream earlier in the month that is under 75. Everything else is above 75. So if I wait the rest of this week, fingers crossed that numbers are good. You can't guarantee if people are going to show up or what. I'm hopeful that people keep showing up and that we can have plus 75 numbers, and that hopefully get some few raids in there too. That definitely helps. So hopefully if I can get this week solid, I'll throw out an application. And then after that, though, you have to like keep them up because who knows when they actually get to it. It could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Who knows?
You're right.
So a lot of nervousness. I'm nervous that like, what if one stream is under 75? Then I'm like, damn it. Well, I'm just going to submit that anyway because it'll take a month to resubmit if they deny it.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, I can see I mean, like you said, there's both feelings happening at the same time. So I mean, yeah, gosh. Well, we're wishing you the best.
But even to be at this point, I feel really accomplished. Like it's a partner. It's really hard as a musician, especially. I mean, any streamer, but it's really a hard number to reach. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, it's hard to get it's hard to get that number. It's really high. It's really high.
Yeah.
You have to be, above around 80, 90, 100 viewers. And that's a lot of people. So I'm grateful that even at this point, it seemed so unreachable a year and a half ago. But here we are, close.
Indeed. I mean, it's exciting. I'm happy for you in that regard too. It's really cool to know that you have such a great community. And it's I think the fact that you play video game music probably lends itself to your to good things as far as your chances of getting there, because it's a very popular genre. And I think since Twitch is basically founded by video game streamers, there's a good crossover in that. And when you came to Twitch, did you see that did you kind of sense that worked in your favor, the fact that it was very video game oriented to begin with?
Yeah, when I first came to Twitch, it was actually like 2018. A friend of mine suggested you should go on Twitch, and then I was like, because that's when I started my video game music project, 88-bit, and I was like, okay, sweet, I'll sign up for the account just like I have done on every other social media account. So I typed in 88-bit music, and it was taken. I was like, what? How can this be taken? And I looked up the account. And I was like, oh man, this guy already it's a streamer. He's got like 1,500 followers. It's like, dang it. It turns out, 88-bit music is a very popular, one of like the first musicians on Twitch, and certainly like probably the first to really be playing video game music on Twitch. And so I liked streaming back then. I only did it for maybe like a month or two, and saw a lot of potential in it, but just couldn't keep it up with my current like life at the time, which consisted of a lot of gigs and teaching and a relationship and roommates, and I just couldn't commit to it. So I abandoned streaming until the pandemic. And since then, though, my 88-bit project had gotten a lot more traction over those years. And so then when I came back to Twitch, I brought my whole like musical output to Twitch. So my original music, video game music, pop rock songs, I don't know, classical music, jazz, I was able to bring all of it to Twitch. So yes, to answer your question, I believe um, the video game music definitely helped connect with viewers on Twitch. And also a lot of people who already followed me as 88-bit came in and would watch here on Twitch, which was a great, like, you know, uh, initial boost to Twitch streaming.
Oh, absolutely. And I can see your 88-bit profile on YouTube also has a pretty good following too. So I can see there's that definitely was a nice foot to have to going in. And for those who are unfamiliar with 88-bit in itself, I think the way I would describe it is it's a place where you host compositions of video game music. I know that you also have you have sheet music. Oh my gosh, we have a raid coming up. Thank you, Brad, for the raid. Let me just go bring him in really quickly, Rob. But yeah, I will ask. I'll finish that question in a second. But I predict the right. I predict the right. That's our raid song. What's going on, Brad? So good to see you. How was your stream tonight? Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hope you're well. Mods, can we shout out Brad, Lauren, Ipsum? So good to see you, friend. Yeah, Brad's stream is awesome. Good to see you. We were hanging out with Rob Kovacs tonight, who is an extraordinary VGM musician out of Cleveland, Ohio. My name's Dave. My name is Davey. I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. So the magic of the internet links us together. Yeah, but 88-bit is I mean, does that sound about right? Like it's essentially where you had been hosting your video game compositions. You have music on Spotify. There's also music on, as mentioned, on YouTube, and then there are original compositions.
Yeah, 88-bit is really, it was a side project because before that I was a songwriter and been in rock bands, and that was my absolute main focus. And I had this idea of making piano arrangements of NES music specifically, where I would take all three musical voices and arrange them for the piano and try to learn how to play them. And the NES music is like some of the earliest computer music. It's super fast. It's not made for humans to play. There's nothing quite like it. So playing on a piano took a lot of practice and takes an incredible amount of skill to execute. And I thought it'd be a cool project to do. So when I got kind of like a lull in like my band history and kind of frustrated with being in bands, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start this side project a bit and start making piano arrangements and uploading piano covers of video game music. And not just like what are the popular songs that people like. Mostly it's like what are songs that I think are super cool that I want people to know more about. Marble Madness is a great one. Rygar is a favorite of mine. Adventures of Lolo. There's so many games. There's like 684 NES games, and all of them have music written by great people and talented composers. And a lot of it is buried in the games. So unless you're a gamer and really good, you're not going to probably go listen to a lot of NES music, which is now available on YouTube, but it wasn't for a while. So a big part of this project is to help shed light on some of this lesser known NES music. So YouTube was the place where I'd put all that stuff. And then I wanted to do concerts as well. So I started pretty much right away. I started doing conventions and playing around the country. Classic Game Fest was the first one that booked me. MagFest was an early one.
Ooh.
Video game, VGM Con. And I've since played at PAX and Long On Retro Gaming, a bunch of different conventions, which has been really great. And I've also since kind of progressed and branched out into more modern consoles like the Nintendo 64 or PlayStation 1.
Moving into the
Really
kind of almost the 21st century.
Almost getting there.
That's funny. I love it too. Sean, thank you so much for the follow. Sean really Nor 6. I appreciate that so much. Welcome in. Sevenia says 88-bit is such an impressive project. And I completely agree with that. You're right.
Thank you, Cavinius.
That is extremely hard music to play. And I couldn't believe that you could keep up with the pace of the RC Pro-Am theme. That's crazy. I was like, that's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a super fun one. I love that. I always just loved that theme as a kid, just like turning on that game and hearing these big thick chords. You don't hear that a lot in Nintendo music because chord. Well, if you play a chord, then you can't add any more notes because it's already three notes, and you can only play up to three pitches at a time.
That's a good point. I never, that I did not know. So now, the last week we had we were on with Thick Chords is Rome. I love it. Last week we were on with Jordan Music, and it was really great to have you in chat. And I really appreciated your breakdown. It sounded like you really had a real feel for synthesized music. And as you mentioned, the NES did not have that many sound channels for music. It was basically, yeah. I mean, I'll let you take it from there. But really, it amounts to basically four waves and a noise. 4 waves, a sampler, like one for samples, and then one for noise, basically.
Yeah, the NES sound chip has 5 channels.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them can produce pitch, and 2 of them. So one of them is 2 of them are a square wave, synth wave, and the third one is a triangle wave, which is also a fascinating part of the wave because the triangle wave doesn't have any volume variance. It's just at max volume all the time. The square wave, it has like 4 different volume levels, but the triangle wave only has 1 volume level the whole time. So you can get up to 3 pitches. The fourth one is a noise channel, so just white noise, like different iterations of white noise type sounds. And then the fifth one is rarely used, but it was used later on in the NES's history. It was a sample channel, so like games like Double Dribble, did you have you could sample someone's voice and it sounds like, Double Dribble, like it's so crunchy and so terrible. The Sesame Street Count Dracula, or not Count Dracula, whatever. The Count.
Yeah.
That one actually is like impressively good. Like it's so clear. Some games started to use that channel for music. Super Mario 3 is an example. It uses like the timbale sound, bum 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 bum, boom boom. A little percussion sound is the sample channel. Later games also started to use that channel for actual pitch. Fire and Ice is a game that uses that channel for bass.
Wow.
So that game has 4 music voices. Another one is Zombie Nation, also has 4 voices. And then other games started to use it, like Journey to Silius also used it for bass, but you only have 3 voices there. They ended up using the triangle channel for percussion. So you still limit to just that one only has 3 musical voices, but it uses the sample channel, and it has just this like grittier, warmer, fuller sound than almost any other NES.
Oh, that's
sound.
Wild. Look, Mahoma's comment is great. Prepare to qualify. That's from. Pole position is great. Right. That was great. I get hyped for that too. Count Von Count, yeah. So which of those waves was used for bass? Because it tended to be the same one at each time.
Yeah, it's usually the triangle wave was used for bass. Not always. Sometimes they would put that up in the melody, and you get this really like whistly sound. If you think of if you think of Mega Man 3, when you get Proto Man, he comes in and you hear,
ooh,
you have this like super high like whistle sound. That's the triangle wave. But triangle is usually used for the bass, and it wasn't even that low. A lot of times, so Mega Man's another good example. Like register wise, like bass is normally down here, like a bass guitar. Those are the 4 strings of a bass guitar, way down here in the this part of the musical register. But that doesn't sound good on like a 13-inch TV with tiny mono speaker.
Right.
So a lot of times the bass would be up here. So like a track like Metal Man by Mega Man 2 by Takashi Tateishi, the melody is here. The counterpoint line, the secondary line is here as well, but with a slightly different tone. And then the bass is also right here. Wait, let's do the bass. But the reason it sounds like bass is because it's got that different tone. It's got that triangle tone, which is a more of a pure sound, more like almost like a sine wave sound.
Yeah, definitely. It's pretty cool. I mean, as you were growing up playing these games, I mean, you can imagine a lot of these sounds inspired you. You mentioned like many occasions, like one of your favorite games is the Adventures of Lolo, which is a puzzle game by Hal, and it is a really really cool game. And so that's was it the music that really it drew you to the game, or is it just the combination of that and the gameplay, or is it just a combination of everything really?
That's a game I played when I was an adult, like in 2017, I
Oh,
think.
okay.
I was sick. I got really sick, like
Okay.
for like a week, like a really bad flu.
Oh
And
wow.
I was like, you know what? I remember somebody told me to check out this game, so I'm gonna play it. And I don't remember who it was. I thought it was another. I thought it was a friend of mine, and he was like, "No, I never played the game before." So I just really liked it. It's a really clever adventure puzzle game, action puzzle game that is like so hard. I There's no way I would have gotten past it as a kid. It's so mentally they're like logic puzzles, but um you have to keep they keep tricking you in this one game. And musically it's not that exciting. There is literally one song that plays the whole game until you get to the end. Then there's like a cutscene with a little different song, and there's another little like fanfare that when you beat the game, and then there's this like Latin jazz type song that plays at the very end when it's rolling through the credits. That is super cool. And when I heard that, I was like, "This is awesome! I've never heard of this song,
Hmm.
and more people should hear the song." And I'm sure many other people have never heard of the song because this game is so hard to beat. So I was inspired to do that whole soundtrack and again to shed light on these lesser known video game songs.
Yeah, I think the game in general just seems to be really underrated. Like it's really cool to see that coming to light, Rob. Like it's really great. What have been some of your other favorite NES soundtracks over the years?
Uh, Marble Madness is one, even though it's technically an Atari arcade game,
Hmm.
but I grew up with them. That game I grew up with, and I always just thought it was so cool and different. Like it's so dark and kind of ominous and sinister sounding, which is not like most video game music. Most of it's pretty upbeat and fun and energetic, and this one is like it's just uh, uh, it's like sad and drab at
Yeah,
times. Um, but it's just so abstract, and I just thought that one was so cool. Mega Man 2 is an absolute favorite. Every level in that game, every song in that game is so unique, and you tie it to that level and to that boss. It's so energetic and really well written, awesome melodies, awesome energy and rhythm. That's a favorite. Maniac Mansion is a favorite too. That's written by a team of people. One of them led by George Sanger, also known as the Fat Man. He's most famous for doing a game called The Seventh Guest and The 11th Hour, which were computer games. But he's one of the earliest video game composers.
hmm.
That's a favorite. The original Zelda is a favorite. What else? There's so many, and there's games I found later, like later on. Oh, the Double Dragon games I like a lot. Um,
Yeah, there got
uh,
some popular choices in there. Yeah, absolutely.
Hip Tanaka, Metroid,
Hmm.
and he has another game. He did a lot of the black box games, so games that have the 8-bit um, art on them, and then like a black border. So basically, like Super
Oh,
Mario Bros. And uh, Duck Hunt, uh, Balloon Fight. That's another one. That's another one I like a lot. Balloon Fight with um, Hip Tanaka, or yeah, Hirokazu Tanaka.
I just
There's a
I
lot, man. There's a lot.
there. Oh, definitely. The Black Box series. If you're wondering what Rob is referring to, basically it's kind of like what they did with videos back in the day. Like videos used to have a very standardized like layout. So there's one. This is Metroid, and then
Yeah,
but I think the earlier with
that's
like
actually that one's like check like that's like that one and the Kid Icarus are
Silver,
not part of the. That's the same style, but they're not black. They're like
right?
silver.
So maybe Duck Hunt would be a better
Duck Hunt
example.
works. Stack Up, Balloon Fight,
Stack up, yeah. So here it is. Here's Duck Hunt.
10-yard fight, Donkey Kong,
Yeah,
Donkey
and
Kong Jr.
then
There you go. There's a
yeah,
black
there,
box one. So it's black. It's a
yeah.
black box.
Right, and then Kung Fu is another one, and
Kung
then
Fu. There's like 18 of them, I think.
yeah,
There's a lot of them.
Hogan's Alley.
Gun, Gumshoe.
Yeah.
Hogan's Alley. Yeah.
Oh, Gumshoe. Let's go see about Gumshoe. That's a great name. Let me see about this. Oh, Gumshoe. Wow, I don't remember Gumshoe. Wow, I've totally forgot about this one. Was this for the Zapper? It was. Oh, I never knew about this one.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun one. It's an
Yeah.
okay one. I collect NES games too, and
Mhm.
I have all the black box games except Stack Up.
Oh, that's tough.
I
Yeah.
saw it once. I didn't buy it, but it's the most expensive of the stupid black box games, and it's like kind of useless. I still would like to have it just to have it, but um, it's one of the only games that was made for Rob the Robot, which is this little like
R-
accessory.
Rob the Robot, the
Um,
infamous. I
yeah,
remember. Yeah. It's
I don't have one of those either, but you would connect the robot to the game, to your Nintendo, and you'd play this game, and it would actually like there's like stacks of rings or something, and the robot would like pick them up and then like move them over, and it would actually do something outside of the game, which was kind of cool.
yeah. Check it out. This is
There are
your
only two games that were made for the robot. That one and Gyromite
Gyromite, which
work with the
is
game. But Stack Up, you actually need the robot to play. Gyromite, you can play without the robot.
oh interesting. Let me go look up Stack Up. Stack Up Rob. Let's go see. Yeah. And it's interesting. Like for the time, I imagine it was really neat that you could have a robot that could like interact with a video game. But ultimately, it was just a robot stacking discs onto each other. It's interesting to see it in motion. I never actually been able to do that until I went to YouTube, and now finally, I got an idea what that's like. So, yeah, you're right. It's like because of the robot, it's like ridiculously expensive to like buy any of
The
that.
robot actually isn't that expensive. I think around $200 or something.
Okay.
But it's tough to find it with like the rings. Usually those are
Oh,
lost.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I mean, true. I mean, that would be kind of crazy to. I mean, I guess you could like do 3D printing to get them now if you wanted to, but
Oh
still,
yeah, I guess you could do that. That's
yeah,
probably true.
right.
Convenience, you have a Rob. Wait, you have a Rob amiibo? Not the actual robot. That's pretty sweet though.
That's pretty cool.
No, yeah, Rob is immortalized in Smash Bros.
Yeah. Levi says, "Does anyone know what 8-bit is?" Yes, it's an architecture. I wonder if does that answer your question? If it smells. I hope. Let's see. The robot sure does drop spindle and bases. Sinead. Nice to see you tonight. Welcome in, my friend. The games are not really that fun in retrospect, but I loved it at the time. Definitely a lot of games like that. I can kind of, you had a little bit of everything with NES, and it's kind of interesting to think about how many games were actually released. It was only about 600. It was like a little over 600. You would think it was a lot more, but it covered a lot of bases. Like you had sports, you had adventure, you had puzzle games. Final Fantasy was, I think it started a little bit on there. Yeah. Castlevania. So role playing
Final
games.
Fantasy started on NES, yeah.
Yeah. So it really covered a.
Yeah, the NES was one of the first times that you could bring the arcade to your home.
Yeah.
It was revolutionary. I mean, like the Atari, it was just such a world above the Atari.
Yep.
Couldn't
Absolutely.
even. It was so much more magical. There's so much more art and music and
Yep.
everything.
Did you ever play with the Power Pad?
I still play with the Power Pad.
Oh, you still do today? Wow.
It's great.
Yeah.
I have one in my room, set
Nice.
up almost at all times.
Really?
It's a great workout.
Oh, for sure.
It's a great workout.
What game do you play
There's
with the
only
Power?
7 games for the Power Pad,
Mm-hmm.
and none of well, there's 7, and then there's like this infamous one which called Stadium Events, which was that's the most expensive NES game that exists. But then they just remade it as World Class Track Meet, which was the game that came with the Power Pad.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
other than I don't even count that, but like the actual like games, because it's the exact same game, it's just a different title. So there's 7 different ROMs that you can play. They're all some are better than others. My favorite is a game called what's it called now? Team Super Team Games. Super Team Games.
I have that game
It's
too.
super hard. It's like an
Yeah.
obstacle course,
Mhm.
and you have to race. You can race your friend. You can race the computer. You can actually also do like a team race where you can get 6 people on the Power Pad at once, and you can all like, run. Yeah, I did it once at a party,
That's
and
nuts.
it was actually stupid and super fun.
Oh my gosh.
But it's such a hard game, like
Yeah.
physically exhausting game.
Oh, no
I do
question.
it to try to stay in shape.
Yeah. I had that game too. Like, so I had a power pad as well. I wish I could find a bigger image of this. They're all so tiny.
You had Super Team games?
I had it. Yeah, I had the power
Oh, so
pad for
you
like a
know.
moment, for a minute.
That's it.
That's the game. And yeah, it's like you said, you can bounce beach balls. You could do river rafting.
Crab.
I think skateboarding was a tough one. Like, how did you?
Skateboarding is pretty fun.
Yeah.
What I want to I'm close. I want to get like you could. There's only so fast you can go on that one, and I want to get. I want to get the world record on that. I think I can get it. It's within reach. I've seen it and I've beaten it. I
Ooh,
just need to like actually do it
cool.
because there's not a lot of people who play power pad games,
Yeah.
so I can squeeze in there.
That's a really good. That's. I'm glad you got to. I mean, that is a very cool. That's a really good call. Like, that's a really fun game for sure. Um, Let me just catch up on chat. There's a lot of great
That's
comments
cool. You
coming
played
in
too,
here.
though.
Yeah. Savinius says, yeah, I have Rob one Christmas. My brother and I got the full NES set with Rob and the Zapper and the first Zelda. That was a hell of a Christmas for you, my friend. Wow.
Yeah, really. Jeez.
Gosh, that's really great. Doesn't know whether Rob still works, but has been looked after and is in our collection. That's awesome. And Levi, so good
I
to
bet it still works. I bet it works, dude.
try it out.
Hit me up. Hit me up if you don't want it. I'll buy it. I'll buy it from you.
There we go. So this is great. Let me see if there's anything else in our chat. Let's see. No, but it was great to see you all here tonight. It is really a fun journey. I mean, we'll get into this in more detail later, and I also want to let everybody in our chat know that you'll get a chance to ask questions in our queue as well in just a few minutes. Rob, before we do though, I do want to comment on your studio. It was the first thing I noticed when I went to your channel like about a couple years ago. It is just a giant space. At least it appears to be a giant space, but it's so well.
It's pretty big.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, it is cool to see you have that kind of space. I mean, it must open so many doors. First of all, you can have a grand piano in your studio. Like that's amazing. Like that's fantastic. But then I've always wondered what that giant thing that spins around is behind you. I don't know what it is.
This thing.
Yeah.
So this thing is a Leslie. It's called the Leslie speaker. I
Oh.
think it was invented in the 50s.
Uh-huh.
And it is used for organs, mostly with a Hammond organ.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets that sound, like if you listen to Boston or like Green Onions by Booker T, there's like a it gives that kind of sound to it. So this thing can change speeds, go slow or fast. If I click it fast, you can see it speeding up even faster.
It's crazy.
So, and there's two speakers, one pointing up, one pointing down, a tweeter pointing up, and a bass speaker pointing down. And it just throws the sound around, and you get this like swirling effect, and it's just the coolest thing. That's what it's used for, mostly organs. You can put anything through it. You can I have a cable, a thing over here, the pedal over here, so I can plug my Rhodes into it, or anything, any quarter inch you can plug into it. Yes, you use it on the bass sometimes. John Lennon sang through it on I think the second verse of Tomorrow Never Knows.
Ooh.
I think it's that. I think it's that one. Yeah, you can hear it. His voice is all like wobbly and weird. So it's a cool ass sound for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for sharing that. Like, and the comments in chat, Shenagel says spinny thing in local jargon, and Sarah X says
yes.
I love it, spinny thing. Sarah says big.
What's up, Schneagle? Levis, thanks for the follow. Good to see you, Sarah.
And if anybody else is meeting Rob for the first time, I would also like to invite all of you to go check out his channel. Give her a friend a follow because he's on a partner push, and every little bit helps. So you can find all of his platforms here at that link, but particularly the Twitch channel would be of particular interest for the immediate future. But definitely a lot going on. And MQ Bush says, MQ, so good to see you. It's like mechanical tremolo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good. So I love that. I mean,
yeah, thanks for commenting on the studio. I also do like recordings in here and have had band practice here. So this is like the family room of the house, but I just made it the music room. And I can pretty much do whatever I want here. So
yeah.
I've converted the dining room is really the family room now. There's no dining room anymore. I don't really need a dining room.
It's
But
cool.
yeah, to be able to have this space is phenomenal, and all these keyboards and
Yeah.
I do music full time, so
Mhm.
it's absolutely great to be able to have a space like this.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. I think a lot of us on Twitch are really admire it because it's just like I would love to have that much space to be able to do anything like that. It's pretty cool. So
Move to Cleveland. It's cheap.
yeah,
It's cheap to
honest.
live here.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, but Cleveland's a pretty good spot for music. You know, I mean, there's a reason why it's got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame museum. I mean, do you still do local gigs as well in addition to what you're doing when you go to conventions?
Not as many since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So all that I used to do a lot, and that was a big main source of my income. And then pandemic and everything stopped, and I had to find another way to make a living. Uh, Twitch. Well, I first started streaming on Facebook, where most of my like that's had the biggest following there, and that was really great. But then Facebook, as every musician eventually found out, was just a terrible place to stream, and there's no
Mm-hmm.
growth there at all, and it's not a good viewer experience. It's not a good experience for the viewer. So that started to die out, and then I switched to Twitch, and Twitch has been so great and so much fun and so much better than like live local gigs. Um, that I don't have any interest or need to do many local gigs. I still do. I will still do some here and there. I've done a couple this year already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's fun to play live and to have a live audience responding to you. But it's also nice to not have to carry any gear and promote and pack stuff up, and it's really convenient to be able to play from home like this.
I feel that. I feel that. I mean, I've heard that. I've heard that spoken by a number of our friends, and there's definitely a lot to that. Absolutely, and it's cool that you do get to showcase the music at PAX at TwitchCon as you did last October in conventions like that. Are there any such events coming up for you in the near future?
Yeah, July 23rd, 22nd, that weekend, I'll be at Classic Game Fest in Austin, Texas,
Hmm.
which I mentioned earlier. That's the first convention that ever booked me. So this will be my fourth time back there. I have Long Island Retro Gaming uh, Expo in, I think, August or September.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure the exact date. And then there's a local video game convention called Cleveland Gaming Classic here in Cleveland.
Nice.
Um, and then I'll be going to a couple events. I'll be going to Game Sound Con because I'm also in the video game original music as well. Game Sound Con in LA, but I don't think I'll be performing. I might do a panel. We'll see. And then TwitchCon, which last year I performed. This year I did not get picked to perform. I'd certainly be down to tagging on, backing up another artist if any artists who are playing need any keyboards or anything. But at the moment, I'm just going as a guest.
Oh, I gotcha. I feel like someone will reach out to you. I mean, I feel like it's. I feel like your town's undeniable here. I feel like it's only a matter of time. We were all mesmerized when you were there last year doing your set. Like it was just great. We were like laser focused on I remember that well because like it was just really fun just hanging out for a little bit.
Well, thanks, man. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. It was
Mm-hmm.
a huge honor to be there. They only picked 20 musicians, and as you know, there's hundreds of musicians on this platform, and
Yeah.
to have been picked I was super surprised but super grateful for the opportunity, and I got to meet so many people like yourself, so many wonderful people. So thank you.
Absolutely, and it is really cool to meet new people or people that you know from the platform in person. So I mirror that as well. It's great to meet you too. Rahoma says dining in this economy, referring to your dining room situation. That's funny.
No more.
I know. So let's step back. Before we go to random questions, which is an opportunity for all of you in the chat to ask questions of Rob Kovacs, I would like to inquire about Straylight. And it is a really cool soundtrack. It's a very good groove, and the game is fun. Like I know when you were on with Island Vibe Presents a few months back, we were there. There were some clips of that game. What was the backstory to your being recruited to contribute music to this project? It is a really cool project.
Thanks. It backstory was we started out as a game jam. don't know if anyone's done game jams before, but basically this one was the global game jam. You have 2 days to make a game. And these two coders worked with, met a friend of mine who I had done a bunch of films with. We'd done a bunch of 48-hour film projects with, worked on together. He did all like the cinematography and the editing. And so he met these two coder guys who wanted to do a game, and they asked him to do the graphics. He was like, well, we need other people too. So he invited me to do the music, and he invited Ben Barr, who did a lot of the direction for the movies. So the two of them worked a lot on the movies together. I invited him to come along too. So the five of us spent 2 days and did our parts, and we came up with this prototype for the game Straylight. And then we were like, they wanted to continue working on it, make it an actual game. So the five of us were like, yeah, we all loved it. We thought it was a great idea. I thought the game concept was great. And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll make more music. And it was supposed to initially just be like 4 songs, and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and ended up being 10 tracks total. And spent 5 years working on it, all in our spare time. And I'm super proud of it. Like, they were great to work with. They gave me a chance to write something I would have never written. I used this synth back here, the Prophet 5, because we initially wanted to do like an 80s theme. And this is one of the quintessential 80s.
Oh,
synths.
yes.
You could Prophet 5, DX7 is another one, the Oberheim is another one. So I was like, well, I got this. And I never really figured it out. Never really had reason to use it that much. And this game gave me, a chance to really like learn it and experiment with it. And again, make something that I would have never made if it wasn't for this game. And they just they allowed me to do pretty much whatever I wanted. And it was great. A great experience.
Phenomenal. I love it. The Bruce of the Prophet 5 actually speaks to my heart too. I love that. I love that set. This is pretty cool. I mean, so many iconic,
it's so cool,
right? Like so many iconic songs that use the Prophet 5 in the 80s. So it's really neat to see that in action. Charlie says go DX7, which is that's like the other end of the 80s. So that's the early 80s, Prophet 5. DX7 is the late 80s, like mid to late 80s. Like that's a fun one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
I have one of those too, but it's still not working. I'm trying to get it to work.
Yeah,
a friend of mine's taking a look at it now.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. I mean, are they easy to find, or are they hard to find, or are they kind of around? Like, is it easy enough to find one in general, or
a DX7? I don't think it's that hard to find. Prophet 5 is super hard to find.
Oh wow, yeah.
I lucked out with the Prophet 5. A guy I was doing dueling piano shows in Cleveland around 2008, and he was selling one. He used to play with the band the Raspberries, and he was just trying to sell one. I was like, can I like try it out? I never had like a synth, like a real synthesizer. He was like, yeah. So he let me borrow it, and I just like fell in love with it and got it for like a really, really decent price. So I lucked out with that one. The DX7 I also bought. I just found like an online auction for like $80. And,
oh wow.
That's super cheap.
It is.
But so far I have not been able to get it to work.
Oh, I got you.
So far it's just been paperweight, but I'm hopeful it can work again.
If you can get it to work, it'll be a steal. Good luck. I hope.
Yeah.
Wish you best luck, of course. Let me just for our mod and our good friend Rahom, I'm just gonna throw these out here. So as we do, you're doing some food challenges on the charity stream. I have 5 beans for a homo. The long backstory to that too, but let's go throw these together. So this one, and by the way, Rob, if you do it, I would not recommend this point redeem to anybody on Twitch. I've seen
other people do the bean boozles, and that doesn't look fun. That does not look fun.
It does not, and it is not. It's fun for everybody in the chat though, so that's what makes me feel pretty good about it. This is either going to be strawberry banana smoothie or dead fish. Oh, I got the good one. Oh, it tastes so good. I mean, honestly, it tastes like the greatest dessert ever when you go through all those bad beans and then you eat a good one. Okay.
Oh man.
This one's either going to be
5 of these?
5? I'm crazy. I know.
Wow.
This is going to be toasted marshmallow or dead bug stink bug. Stink bug. Okay, that one's good for the chat. Not good for me. This one's either gonna be birthday cake or dirty dishwater. 108 rigs. Wow. Time flies. Can you imagine just to compute that? Like, I've done this 108 times at least. Those are the good ones, so I probably did even more of them. Okay, that's dirty. That's bad. And then this one's either stinky socks or tutti frutti. I think it's tutti frutti. Same one. Oh, that's stinky socks. Okay. But I think we got 2 good beans and 3 bad. Oh my god, Jade's here. What's going on,
You
Teeny
take those like a
Heels?
champ, man. I'm impressed.
Thank you. No internet and the cell towers are overtaxed here. Just wanted to drop a lurk while I can and say hi. Go Rob, go Dave. Thank you, team. Jade, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Maz, let's shout out Teeny Heels.
Bean Boozled not in your future, Rob. I'll not. No. Right now, no. Right now, no. I mean, I guess so, but I try to avoid it. I'll try to do other weird things, but not so much.
I think it's a good answer. But yeah, our good friend Jade is a fabulous ASMR streamer on Twitch, so do give our friend a follow as well. Matt Vera says, at least you know your limits, man.
Who's an ASMR streamer? Ms. Vera May?
No, Teeny Heels. Really.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Teeny Heels. I was about to say, Teeny Heels is here. What's up, Teeny Heels?
What is up, Jade?
Thanks for dropping in.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Amazing ASMR. I was just listening to her on my way home. I was driving home. I had an hour drive the other day, and it was. I didn't really want to listen to music, and it was perfect. Just like ASMR sounds while you drive home at night.
Oh man,
awesome.
That's got to be so. But do you worry that you might fall asleep in that scenario?
No, I wasn't nowhere to that. No.
No, that's cool. That's cool. No, it's totally that's a great call. Like it's always such a great vibe. So yeah, and our friend Photon has joined us. What is up? Good to see you on Lurk. I good to see you, Jared. But yeah, good to see Sarah too. So now, friends, let's go ahead and give it to you now. This is one of the few talk shows on the internet that lets the chat actually ask the questions as well. So we do this in what we call America's favorite moment in Twitch broadcasting. Where's the button? Yes.
Do the dance. It's time for random
Button success.
questions. Good stuff. Ask us anything.
And we can do it by going to the chat and then typing and then in the chat use exclamation point question followed by your question, then enter that in the chat and we'll take your questions in order as we go through the queue. And I can see that the queue has been updated a bit here in our bot system, but please. And Jerry, so good to see you too. Shout out to Photon. Hope the stream is going great. So far, so good. So nice to see you. This is Rob Kovacs, a fabulous VGM musician on the Twitch platform. Performs all sorts of things, including, as you mentioned, you don't perform just VGM. You also have some pop hits that you cover as well from, seems like a bunch of decades, all the way from the 70s up to today. I think it's a pretty good mix.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Past 100 years, there's jazz standards in there,
Nice.
50s, 60s, all the way up to today. Yeah, a lot of, and then, like I said, I write a lot of music, so there's a lot of originals. And before I started doing VGM stuff, I was in bands, and I still have an original music out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I hope to start my next original music record. I hope to start it by the end of the year. So, we'll see. Welcome, Ariel BR. Welcome.
Ariel, thanks for joining us tonight. It's just good to see you as well. Try to suss out some emergency vehicles in my neighborhood, but I think they're on their way. So, folks, again, exclamation point question followed by your question. Enter it in the chat. I'll give you an example. So, here's one for you, Rob. If you've not answered this before, what is your favorite kind of sandwich?
Man, I would probably say like a cheeseburger.
I like it.
That
I like it.
Yeah, even as a kid, like those were always the freaking best. And I don't eat a lot of sandwiches anymore. I don't eat a lot of bread, but I did have a burger today. Met up with a friend who I haven't seen in a long time, and We're at a bar, so there's a lot of options, but they had a great jalapeno burger, and man, it's so good. It's so good. So that's what I went with. That's what I go with.
Nice. Oh, I love that. I love that. Chillux13, I'm not sure. I'm assuming they're from the community. Bro, do you know LeBron James?
No, I wish. I've seen him play a lot because he's from Cleveland.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know LeBron James.
I don't either, even though I'm familiar with our friend LeBron James. But very good. So anybody else, do you have any questions? Exclamation point question followed by the question itself. And we'll roll through these as we go into the remainder of the... There we go. I love it. Miss Fairmay with a question. Favorite NES game?
I cannot decide between these two, but it's Mega Man 2 and Zelda 1. Both of those had like huge impacts on me as a kid. Zelda was the first game that really gave me like a wow factor. And I still remember like seeing it at my friend's house and being like, what is this? Like, what is I would have been like 5 or 6, and like this game where you can like explore and you have to attack and get different weapons, and it was so much different than like Pac-Man or Donkey Kong Jr. or something like that. These Atari games, it was just a whole new world. So that game I spent literally years playing and trying to figure out, and there weren't many guides at the time. I even started writing a guide. I remember I was like, I'm going to write a guide because I eventually felt I figured out everything in the game, kind of by mistake. I knew, like in the beginning of the intro scene, it shows you all the items that you need.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is this, it shows you that you need a silver arrow. And spoiler alert, but I'm the game's 40 years old, so, or whatever, 30 years old. So anyway, I pretty much every level you get like an item, or every dungeon you get like an item. And I knew that the 9th level has like the red ring in it, and I was like, well, dang it, I need to find the freaking silver arrow first. So I bombed every single wall, I pushed every block, I burned every tree in the game, blew up every wall I could think of, to try to find this freaking silver arrow before I got to level 9, the 9th dungeon. So I found everything in the game, everything else, except that silver arrow, because it's actually also in the dungeon, the 9th dungeon.
Oh, that is...
So eventually I found it.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just had this assumption, like, I don't want to go into it yet until I have this weapon item. So I found everything else, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna write a guide. This is before the internet. But I never got around to that. So that game was a huge favorite of mine. The other favorite is Mega Man 2.
Ooh.
Which was just so fun. It was so cool being able to choose what level to start with, and then you acquire, once you beat that boss, you acquire his weapon, and then you have to figure out which boss that weapon is strong against. And there's just so many choices and different customization you can do with that game. And again, it took so long to like actually figure out how to beat it. They had like a huge impact on me as a kid. So those are two of my favorites.
I love that. I mean,
do you have a favorite, Davey?
Oh, me? Yeah, I thank you for that. I'm very... Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, it's always Super Mario Brothers. All the Super Mario Brothers series. Like the original one was my favorite. Like it was just a really, really well built game, and it was really ahead of its time. It's very fun. Music's great. You know, it's just fun to play. I'm definitely a fan of it. Others. I did like Double Dribble. I mean, it was a fun game to play. It was a good one. I'm trying to think. Anything else? Let me think. Well, Mega Man 2 was awesome. Yeah. I was just not that great at it. I wish I had spent more time with it. I would have been much better if I didn't.
It's a hard game.
It's a hard game. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very good call though. And then Super Team Games is actually a good one because like I had the game. It was really fun. It got chaotic sometimes if you're playing with family and friends. Like it got really, really funny. So, let me think. Is there
good choices?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Gradius was good. I love that game. That's a solid game.
Yeah, Gradius is super fun.
Yeah. Shooters like that. I mean, those are the big ones.
Yeah.
I mean, Donkey Kong too, but it's like kind of not Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., but those are really, they're kind of both arcade and Nintendo, so they're all pretty good.
Yeah, I actually had 9 arcade games growing up, and one of them was Donkey Kong Jr., so I got to know that game quite a bit.
It's pretty good stuff. Yeah. Miss Faramay says, I have Mario tattoo, so hell yeah, Davey. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
That's awesome. I mean, it took, it's funny. The funny thing is, like, I started with Mario 1. And then because I got it kind of late in the game, I jumped right to Mario 3 after that because everybody was playing Mario 3 at that point, and so I skipped over Mario 2 and played Mario 3. And it was not for another maybe 10 to 15 years until I played Mario 2 on an emulator. What a cool game that was. Like, I really appreciate that game too. The music is amazing. Like, it's just
Mario 2?
Yeah, US Mario 2 just to be specific, because I know there's a Japanese one too. But
I remember getting it for like a birthday of mine.
Mhm.
Might have been 2nd grade, 3rd grade. And like it was so different. I was so excited to play it, but it was like so different. It was like,
was.
oh wow, this is so different. I don't quite know how I feel about it. But yeah, it still got a lot of the Mario characteristics, like being able to sprint and being able to choose different characters was totally cool. All the enemies were different this time, so that was weird. But that was a fun game. And then 3, I remember the first time I played 3 because when I was 8, I was in the Nintendo World Championship. They came to different cities.
You were
They came
in
to
it?
Cleveland.
Wow.
I got to compete in the Cleveland competition.
The real wizard.
I know, right, dude? It was so amazing.
That's
It
awesome.
really was like so amazing. And it was like a whole convention floor of like games and stuff and different things. And they had an arcade of Super Mario Brothers 3, which hadn't come out yet. Like it wasn't even out. And there was just a huge line to play it, and you get like 5 minutes, and then the game would like shut off, and then someone else would get to play it. But it was just, imagine like you're playing Mario, and you've played Mario 1, you played Mario 2, and all of a sudden 3 comes out, and you can freaking fly. Like it was just so cool. Nothing quite like that.
That's definitely mind blowing. And you're right. Like, in the prism of when you saw it, like this is like a whole, like maybe about a year before it came out, or even just a few months. That is, yeah. I can only imagine how mesmerizing that was to everybody. Just amazing stuff. Like, that is cool.
Yeah, it was super cool.
Yeah. Now, how did you do? Just to refresh my memory, just to refresh on that. Like, how far did you do? All right. Did you advance a round or two?
Yeah, I did good.
Nice.
I was one of the youngest kids there, and
Mhm.
I don't remember being separated by age at all. It was just all the same. Although I think some cities separated by age. Like I said, I was 8, and so the way it worked was you wait in line, and then you can play the qualifying round. And so they had like 20 arcades, and you had to play. If you don't know this, you had to play this. You had 3 games, and they kind of all worked together. It was like one ROM, but you start with Super Mario Brothers, and you'd have to get 20 coins. Once you got 20 coins, it flipped you into Rad Racer, and you'd have to get like 2 checkpoints. And then once you do that, it kicks you into Tetris, and you just have to rack up as many points as you can until the time run out. So I don't know how much time it was total, maybe 7 minutes or something, maybe 5 minutes. I don't remember. And then whoever had the most points at the end on Tetris won. So the qualifying round, they picked out of those 20, they'd pick, or 15 people, they'd pick 7, and then those 7 would go to the quarterfinal round, and then they would go on stage and play against one another. So on stage they had like 6 consoles, and then they had like a big chair in the back, like kind of like the movie. And then there was a big screen, and they could flip between different players to put them on the screen. So I ended up making it to the quarterfinals 5 times or 4 times, and then I lost the quarterfinals every time. And then finally my parents were like, okay, we got to go. And I was like, one more chance. I was like, okay, fine. So I changed up my strategy, because I was, for whatever reason, I was just like running it across the level on Super Mario Bros. Rather than jumping down and getting all the coin cash down the pipe. So I was like, okay, I see everybody doing that, so I'm going to do that. So I did that, and then I believe I crashed once in the Rad Racer, but like got back up. And then it was Tetris, and then I was, building the tower, and then waiting for the long pieces, and like it got pretty dicey at one point, but then I got like 2 long pieces in a row and got 2 Tetrises like right before
Nice.
time ran out. And I passed. I won. I beat the other 6 competitors, and then I got to go
That's huge.
to the semifinals, which was the next day. So I had to come back the next day.
Mhm.
And then that was like all like 30, like against 30 winners or so.
That is.
And then they picked the top 3 out of that, and I did not make the top 3.
Oh.
I botched Tetris in that. I tried to
I see.
quickly throw something down. I put it in the wrong spot.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I feel that.
I know.
We've all
I was
done that.
heartbroken.
You know, it's just like...
I might have cried a little bit. It was the biggest event of my life at that time. I mean, maybe even still. It's pretty big. It was a pretty big moment.
Hugs. I mean, big time. I mean, virtual hugs on that. I mean, that's a bummer. Oh, I feel your pain. Yeah, Miss Ferris says I would too, dude. Yeah, we all feel your pain on that one. So much to catch up on the chat. We were all just blown away when you mentioned all this. First, Seven is a little while back said, all the games you mentioned, no wonder we're friends. Like, I love that. Like, that's really cool.
Heck yeah, I didn't know you were in the retro gaming too, Kivinius.
Cool.
That's rad.
I remember buying guides from Blockbuster, but that didn't even come until past NES. Yeah, I think that's right, because Nintendo Power was kind of around that time. It was a little bit after that. The Blockbuster guys.
Yeah, there's Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
There's also these books that were like how I don't remember what it was called, but they were like little books that were like how to beat Nintendo games or how to win at Nintendo games or something. And then it just had a bunch of like secrets or like tricks for different Nintendo games.
Mm-hmm. It is just so cool. Just a question from 7NES. Did they reveal Super Mario 3 on the big screen like they did in the movie?
No. It was just in that arcade. Like it was like a game you could actually play. So it was revealed that way. But people had already known that it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't out yet.
Right. Yeah, it's really good stuff. Now on that, Teeny Heels, yeah, but the flutes, world jumping.
That was amazing in 2, but yeah. That was amazing in Super Mario 3 too.
Yeah.
We didn't get that far though in the arcade because we only got 5 minutes to play it. But everybody was trying you wanted to figure out how to fly. That was the goal. Like, how can I actually figure out how to fly?
That's true.
Nobody knew how to play it yet. It's pretty cool.
I didn't, it didn't even really sink in that actually was like a learning curve. Like it's like you forget about that. Like that definitely was like, how do you make it do it? That's a good point. I still struggle with it in Super Mario World, even today. Like, you know how like when you can get Mario to fly with the feather and the cape, but what I always forget is how to get it to keep going. Like with when you get the like the parachute.
You get the right
timing. Timing's tough. So yeah, everybody was feeling your pain on missing out on the next round.
I actually have a VHS of that. Like I think I was at my parents' and I found it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I haven't watched it yet though, but it exists. I should digitize it and watch it at some point.
I like it.
Maybe we'll stream it. I got to digitize it though first.
It would be a good. I'm presuming you have a Patreon. If you do, like that's a Patreon perk too. Like you could like. Or...
Good idea. I have an 88-bit Patreon.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would work for that.
Yeah. But stream is a good call. I like it. We need to watch it together. See, 7 years wants it on stream. That makes sense. I jive with that. Yeah. The games in those days didn't hold your hand so much as well. Yeah. I'm not about to say that games of today are easy though. Games are hard today. Like, I'm kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's like Red Dead Redemption, and games are hard. Games are still hard. It's just different, the way that you play them.
Games are tough.
Yeah.
I was playing. I just got a PS5. One of my viewers bought me a PS5.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Yes, it's
wow.
so crazy. I'm so grateful for it, and I absolutely love it because I haven't had like a modern console since the SNES. That's really the most modern console I have, and I have a VR headset because of the game I was working on. But other than that, I don't really play modern games. I kind of like gave it up once I couldn't stop playing them. Like I was playing computer games and games like Half-Life 2, and I was just like sinking so much time into these games. Like, I can't keep doing this. I need to abandon games. But I absolutely love video games. So
Yeah.
having this is something I never would have bought for myself.
Mhm.
And it's brought me a ton of joy. And I forgot like how much I just love video games.
Mhm.
But yeah, they are tough. I'm trying to play what am I playing? Horizon Forbidden West. And you're battling these huge ass machines, and it's all 3D, and I'm still getting used to all the buttons and the analog sticks, and it's tough. It's tricky.
Yeah, 100%. So let's go back to the queue. And Levi smells with a question. You said earlier there were triangle voice things and there are other shapes to send sounds through. Maybe this question is confusing. I don't know exactly how to ask. Oh, no. The question is, are there other shapes to send sounds through? I think I know what he's getting at, if you need clarification.
You're talking about the NES?
Yeah, so now I think you mentioned there was a square wave as well.
Yeah, there's two. So there's 3 channels with pitch, and there's only 2 waveforms that you can make. Square wave, and I can even play you an example on the
Okay.
Prophet 5
Yeah.
of what they sound like.
Definitely.
So square wave is like we think of a musical wave. If you vibrate something like it creates this shape, up usually up and down, like a sine wave, just like you would in math. Looks like that, and that has like a kind of tone, like warm sound. You can't make a sine wave on the NES, but you can make a square wave. So it's like straight up, across, straight down, across. It's like that. It has like a very like buzzy, but also like woofy sound to it. You can also change the pulse width. You can make it really narrow, like narrow and then long, and then narrow and then long, and that also changes the tone of the square wave as well. I'll play that. So that's a square wave sounds like this. Give me a second though.
Okay.
Let's see here. Square. What are we doing? Why isn't that working? Hold on a second.
Ooh. You hearing that, everybody?
Okay. So this is essentially what square wave sounds like. There we go. That's a little better sound. So this okay, that's a fairly pure square wave. If I change the width, this is about equal width, so it's actually like a square. If I can make it, I can start to change the pulse width. And you hear the tone changing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what a square wave can do. So that's the NES can only really affect that much with the square wave, and then the triangle wave sounds more like this.
Oh yeah.
So a more woofy sound.
Yeah.
More of a pure sound. There's less buzziness to it.
Mhm.
And now on the NES couldn't. So triangle wave looks like that, just like a triangle up and down, like that. It's kind of similar to a sawtooth wave. A sawtooth wave looks just like a sawtooth, except it goes straight down, and that has a much buzzier sound. That sounds like this.
I love this.
So the Sawtooth doesn't exist on the NES unless there's a couple games that had extra sound chips capabilities in the game themselves, but the SNES did not, or the NES did not have that. But the way that the NES made a triangle wave is kind of fascinating because it couldn't actually do that diagonal line. So it kind of like makes a makeshift triangle by basically taking a square wave and tiering it. So it's like up a little bit, up a little bit, up a little bit, up to the top, and then back down. So it's actually just changing the volume of a square wave to make
like a pyramid,
basically a tiered triangle wave.
Okay.
So that's why it has no volume. Because there's no room for it to go any softer. Otherwise, it loses the triangle sound.
Oh, that's wild.
It's pretty, pretty fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, thank you so much for breaking that down. Levi, thank you for your question. Catching up on chat. Rohamos is all the overtones. Absolutely. That buzz, or what was it? The buzz to what was the other one called? The
Sawtooth?
Sawtooth. Yes, Sawtooth.
You hear how out of tune it is? Let me fix that.
Okay.
The Prophet 5, it takes time to warm up, and it actually has like a tune button, and it will retune itself.
Oh.
Now, much more in tune.
Ooh. You know what that reminds me of? The Sawtooth, Commodore 64. I hear a little bit of that in there. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So when you don't have are there preset patches, or do you have to make them all manually, much similar to Moog? Like you just have to dial it in and figure out what the numbers are each time.
No, what's great about this is like it's a digital analog hybrid, so it has digital recall. So all the sounds are analog, but it can you can save them, the presets, and so you can save up to 40 presets on that particular Prophet 5. So it has 40 presets, and if you want to record your own, then you have to save over the presets. I've saved over most of the presets.
Oh, I gotcha.
Except one,
go
which
ahead.
was used in Daft Punk's Robot Rock, Patch 32. You know that song?
Oh,
that's the patch they used.
I know that well. Wow, amazing stuff. Well, thank you again for. I'm glad you had that. I'm glad it was on. Like that's really great. Really great to see that demonstration. Levi loved it. Says awesome. I agree.
Awesome. Cool.
Love it. Thank you again, Rob, for demonstrating the Prophet 5. Just amazing stuff in there. And let's continue with our questions. And I think there's some other things I had to mention. Oh yeah. Hawk6 Phoenix, thank you so much for the follow. Really nice to meet you here, everybody. And thank you for hanging out with us tonight. And horror host Joe, it's so good to see you again. Hello there. Welcome in. Feel free to ask a question too if you want to ask Rob a question tonight. Cashmere Feline was vibing with that. I love it. Seven is.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, a lot of them are in my community already. So feel free to ask anything. Would have to type !! question and then their question. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yep. And thank you everyone from Rob's community for coming through tonight. It's really great to meet all of you here. And it's so awesome going through all these memories too. It's really great. So let's see. We got a question from Sarah. If you had to choose, would you rather know your time of death or the cause?
Deep question.
Yeah.
I think that I'd probably rather know the time. I mean, I'd rather know the time. There's a lot of things I want to do in the world, and if I knew that I only have this much time to do it, and we kind of know that, like we can't live forever. There's, 80, 90, 100, you're probably not going to be around. So try to get things done before then. But I guess if I knew a specific time, I'd probably prefer to know that. I feel like I'd probably be more anxious if I knew the cause and it was something very like painful or scary
or sudden.
I would just be probably anxious about that the rest of my life. But that's a tough question. You took your question to a dark place. I know, Sarah. Well, there you go. Hope you like the answer. Thanks for the follow, by the way. MQ Bush. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was really great to see. Thank you so much for the follows. Rob's channel, and if you want to do the same, just go ahead and go to Rob's handle on Twitch, and you can do the same, or you can click his name in the title, and then you can also follow via that way. Savinius, thank you for the follow. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. So good to see you. It's really been great getting to know you tonight in our chat, and as it turns out, Savinius has a question. So the question is, was VGM something you'd always played? I think I know. I might have a beat for this one. But Rob, was VGM something you had always played, or something you had, or was, I'm sorry, let me repeat that. Was VGM something you had always played, or something you'd always had an interest in?
Well, thanks for the follow, Miss Vera May, and welcome, Sarah Mahoney.
Vera!
Nice to see you here. Was it something I always played? I did my first video game music cover in 2000 with my rock band at the time. We were in high school, and we played a high school rock off, and we made an arrangement of the Super Mario Brothers theme, between piano, guitar, bass, and drums, and that was by far our biggest hit. Like, people lost their shit over that. This is back in 2000, so nobody was really covering video game music, certainly not locally. So that was the first thing I did, and then in college I would play my piano arrangement of that, and then but that was it. I really wasn't doing like. I always kind of liked video game music, but other than like at home, and actually at home too, I had a keyboard that could like record tracks. And this game I mentioned earlier, Seventh Guest, that was one of the first games I ever tried to like recreate the music, because it basically, Seventh Guest is like really like MIDI, like early MIDI sounds, which sounded a lot like my Yamaha 385 keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
So for myself, I was like, oh, I can recreate this, and it was really, really fun. So it's always been like a part of my life. And then 2010, I was in New York City, and that's when I did my first like piano arrangement of Mega Man. I did Airman, and that's where I was like, I want to make. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of like other people like playing parts of video game music, but not really like well. It was just like, here's the melody on piano, and I didn't feel a lot of them didn't do the music justice. So in 2010, I made this really accurate video, which was super hard, and that did really well. But then it wasn't until 2015 when I came up with the 88-bit idea of like, why don't I just do all the games or any game? Like, it doesn't have to be just Mega Man. And then it wasn't until 2017 where I really started to like put more time into it and start doing it. So that's been my video game music playing history.
That is an awesome history.
Savinius,
thank you for the question. I want to give a shout out to our friend Sarah Mahoney Music. Great to see another cool, very, very awesome piano player on the Twitch platform. Follow our friend Sarah as well. And also a good friend of your channel, I understand. Jason, great to see you as well. Jason L. Rush, one of our mods. So good to see you. T-Bone Mama, hello again. Nice to see you there. And Rob, as we mentioned, it is really neat to see some of the people who come through in your chat. I've seen some really serious, some pretty solid, some pretty big names on the Twitch music scene stopping by, and I think it warms my heart to see it. I mean, do you feel the feels when you see that too?
Yeah, it's definitely a Twitch music. Is it definitely a community between Twitch musicians, and I find a really supportive one, a genuine, like, supportive, respectful musician community. I'm blown away by the talent on this platform, like how well people sing. It right in front of a mic, but there's like live. You can get away with more stuff. You can get away with more stuff live when there's like reverb in the room and it's loud. Like, but singing directly into a mic, right to your computer, to the listener speakers, like there's really nowhere to hide behind, and people are just so good on this platform. So many people are just Missy Alcazar, or
oh yes,
not all the names of people, Carmela, Anel, Raquel, they're just so talented. And then so I'm inspired by all these people, and then they have them different people pop into my chat, like Fariha has popped in, or Office Drummer, or Music is Code, and it's become a good friend of mine. I've made a lot of Christy Cates, also super talented, Sarah Mahoney.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
met so many friends through music, Twitch music. That's been it's inspiring.
100%. I mean, you've named some really cool people from the platform as well. Sarah Mahoney says Rob is just here for T-Pain. Yeah.
He's not coming in my chat yet.
It's only a
Maybe we
matter
have to
of
rate
time,
him a
though.
few times.
It's only a matter of time, I think, but we'll see. But yeah, I love it. Yeah, I agree with Necro. I agree with you. Sarah is an excellent musician as well. And anything. So, by the way, Sarah and Jason, anybody else in our chat, T-Bone, if you'd like to ask a question of Rob in the next few minutes, please you can use exclamation point question followed by the question itself, including this question from Armadma Rahomo, which is the question. For us, that means the breakfast wars question. So we have this ongoing debate between types of breakfast carbohydrates. So Rob, for you, are we going pancakes, waffles, French toast, or crepes?
This is for Rahomo. Thanks for the follow, Rahomo. What's my favorite? What's the best?
Yeah.
Man, French toast is probably
Nice.
my favorite. I don't make it much, but French toast, yeah. Actually, yeah, I don't buy bread, so I don't make it, but it is a treat to have. Man, waffles are great though too, but the waffle itself is kind of bland. Same with pancakes if you use flour. I'll make pancakes with plantains, and those taste way better and pretty amazing. But it's a toss up. Right now it's a toss up between pancakes and French toast, but I guess I'll go with French toast.
Well, the French toast community thanks you very much for that response and in your support. And what's not to love? Yeah. So we just so now, thanks to your vote, as Rahomo has logged in our chat, French toast has now been chosen 19 times, which means it is the leader in our breakfast war in the 2 years since we've been on stream. Really great. Rahomo says grape nuts.
Grape nuts. That's the worst, most false advertising cereal of all time. Grape nuts sound amazing, like a crunchy grape flavored cereal. No. It's the most bland. I don't even know how you call it cereal. It's just like nuts. And they're bland, like bland nuts. I don't even know why anyone buys that. Terrible cereal.
Oh no. Oh gosh. That's funny. Unfollow. I'll play that down the middle. I mean, I feel I don't hate grape nuts. I think they're good, but I can understand your points, Rob. It's a big time false misleading product. You expect one thing, you get completely different one. The internet is canceled. Oh gosh, that's funny. Let's continue with. Let's see. Anything else in chat? Rob creating controversy says Savinius deactivate all of Twitch. Eklund says, "Oh, hello, Eklund. More eggs and French toast, and he does like his eggs. Interesting. And so Necro has this comment. Don't know what I was watching that rated her, but I remember the name. Be interested in hearing about engagement of Twitch casuals like myself. Obviously, we aren't the money makers, but do streamers care about casual viewer numbers, or does it help make life harder? Or I mean, does it help, or does it make life harder? What are your thoughts on lurkers who just like to listen but not engage?"
Yeah, I'll answer. You could probably answer too, Dave. I'd be curious to hear your answer. But I would say for me personally, absolutely. Especially now since we're pushing for partner, and like the threshold, the most important stat is how many viewers you have to hit. That's what you need to hit partner. You need to have 75 average viewers. So lurkers are absolutely imperative. If we had 75 like active people in chat, that would be quite a lot. But to have half of them be lurkers, like, yeah, it's so important. So thank you, Necro, for being a more casual viewer and just tuning in. You can enjoy it however you want to enjoy the stream. But yeah, you guys are absolutely imperative to streamers' success.
I completely agree with that, Rob. And Actually, I kind of seen the effect of what casuals can do to make or break or really add to the visibility of your channel. It's absolutely enormous. I never take that lightly, and I know some of our lurker friends on this channel, the Sandwich Show, and sometimes they come out alert too. That's one of the interesting things about it. Like, so some occasionally will come out alert. Like even today, I ain't angry PFBs typically lurking, but when our friend I ain't angry found out that there was an unlimited Bean Boozled redeem, our friend came to bat and just started firing them away. So it was always great to see that. So I have so much huge respect for lurkers. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, Necro.
Yeah, and thank you too, Necro. And thank you, Not Down Below Fellow. It's so good to see you as well. Any side stream relies on sponsors for anything. It's the main metric they go by. And so, yeah, I completely am with that. You know, you want the balance of both an engaging chat to go with folks who are just hanging out and listening, because together you create a great community. And it's no small thing to be a lurker. Not at all. Like, that's commitment on your end. It's focusing on the show, enjoying the show, listening to the show. Oh my gosh, look at all these gifts. Sarah Mahoney, thank you for the gifts of Panda Volta. I also want to thank Jason for the 21-month resub. So good to see you, Jason. And Trevor Owens Music, hello again. Gifted a 1-month tier 1 sub to Sarah Mahoney Music. I love it. Jamie, great to see you again. Let's see if we can do one more question for Miss Vera May. And I do apologize for jumping to that question. I didn't realize there was a question at the beginning, but it was, and a really good one from Necro, so I appreciate the question too. But Miss Vera May, oh my gosh, have we? Yep, here it comes. It's Hype Train time. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. All right, so usually what happens when we have a Hype Train is we do trivia. Miss Vera May, I will get to your question right after Hype Train. But we have some fun trivia for you tonight for our Hype Train. So that's our trivia is our move when we have a Hype Train. Tonight's category, Rob, are you ready? I'm gonna ask you.
Wow, I was not ready for this, but I guess I'm ready. Thanks, Cavinius, for the 100 bits and MQ Bush for the 500 bits.
Thank you so much, MQ Bush. You're Jamin. So good to see you. All right, so I have for you trivia about the originals, about Super Mario Brothers, mostly the original one, but also some other,
oh boy,
2 and 3. All right, Rob, good luck. 15 questions about Super Mario. Let's see what you got. Here we go. Okay, so who gifted a gift sub to Amaranth? Well, it's gonna have to get forwarded over to Kick now, I guess. She doesn't even go exactly, Sarah.
She still streams here.
Does
She's
she?
smart.
Oh, okay.
Both.
I'll keep an eyeball out. So the first question: what company released Super Mario Brothers and its sequels?
Nintendo.
Oh, did she really, Miss Vera May? I like it. I like that too. Great answer. You are correct. 1 for 1. Question number 2. In Super Mario Brothers, what 2 things can the B button do on the controller?
It can make you sprint, or it can shoot fireballs.
Yeah, you got it. 2 for 2. All right. So, next question. What would the mushroom retainer, aka Toad, say at the end of each completed castle?
Thank you, but our princess is in another castle.
Got it. 3 for 3. Next question. How many coins does it take to earn a 1-up?
100.
Yep. Flying through these, Rob. This is great. Next question. True or false? You can enter World 5 via a warp zone.
In which game?
In the first game. Good question.
You can enter World 5 via a warp zone.
So basically, can you warp to World 5?
It's not in the. There is one pipe that has one, like a single warp. There's one warp zone with a single pipe, and I don't remember if it's level 5 or not. It's not in like the first one, which is
you are on the right. I will say you're on the right track.
I'm gonna say yes.
You're right, and that's exactly how you do it. There's 2 different in World 4-2. There's 2 different warp zones. So the vine takes you to 3 of them, 6, 7, and 8. And if you go over the bricks at the end before you exit out, that takes you to World. The one pipe.
Oh, okay, that one was tough.
That was a good one. That was a good call. That was a good poll on your end.
I didn't think about that one.
for sure. So you are up to 5 points. That's Candace. Great to see it, Candace. Way too easy for Rob. 7 assists is too easy for Rob. This will get harder. All right.
I struggled with that one.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Next question. What is the name of the main villain in Super... Well, this is like just so easy. What is the name of the main villain in Super Mario Brothers 1? And 3. It's really both.
Okay, Bowser, but I actually don't think his name was Bowser at the time, but we'll go with... Because it's also King Koopa. But...
Yes. We would have gone with either of those would have been acceptable. So...
Okay.
Yes. Fantastic. Yes. Bowser, King of the Koopa. So yeah, King Koopa was acceptable in that scenario. All right, so next question. Okay, now you have to get this one. Who is Mario's brother?
Luigi.
Yeah, you got it. Oh my gosh, Miss Fairway, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Sarah, thank you for the gift sub to Kashmir as well. And Romo, thank you for the gift sub to Amaranth. MQ, thank you for the 500 bits as mentioned. Holy Moses. Stefanius, thank you for the 100 bits as well. We have finished level 1. We are just about 36% away from level 2. Oh, thank you so much. Agreed, Mario, says Romo. Not wrong, actually. Next, so that's 7. Next question. In Super Mario Brothers 2, US edition, what is Princess Toadstool / Peach's superpower?
She can levitate.
Yes.
She can jump and levitate.
Got him. Yep, she can levitate, she can fly, however you want to describe it. All right, question number 9. How many seconds do you get to complete a stage in most cases during Super Mario Brothers 1?
255?
I'll say it's higher. I'll give you one more shot. Not actual seconds, but mind you, like
Right. It's not actual seconds. 299?
that's a good guess. It's not right. The answer is 400. So it's 400 in some levels and 300 in others. So that's a great guess, though.
Huh.
Yeah, but
All right, you got me. That's what I didn't know.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, though. Like, you know, you just know when it gets to 100, they go. Doo, 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 doo.
Yeah.
But oh gosh, thank you all for the hype train. Really great stuff. Levitated before Dua Lipa, so OG. Exactly. Peach had Dua Lipa beat by a lot. Okay, so I think. Oh, here we go. Here's our next question. What is the maximum number of points you can score when jumping on a flagpole to complete a stage in the original Super Mario?
I'm not 100% sure. Is it 5,000?
It is 5,000. Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. I was either 1,000, 2,000, or 5,000. So went with 5,000.
I love it. Because there's 2,000, there's 1,000, and it goes all the way down to 100. All right. Now you can seek help from the chat on this question. Which character in Super Mario Brothers is also the name of a moderator in Twitch Music?
A moderator in Twitch Music?
Yeah, on Twitch Music channels.
Which video game character?
Well, which character in Super Mario
Brothers
specifically? Yeah.
is also a Twitch moderator?
Mm-hmm. Like it's the same name.
Twitch and
Jason Elrush, final answer. Hi, Charlie.
A Twitch moderator?
Definitely don't stop believing.
Not a Twitch staff? Not a Twitch staff?
No, because
Okay.
Chun-Li beats. This is great.
I'm trying to think of Twitch. What channel are they a moderator in?
Friends in chat, is Voice Unmuted one of the channels? If they're not a moderator there, then they're a really good community member, if not a moderator at Voice Unmuted. So like that's one I associate.
Which channel did you say?
Voice Unmuted, the Katie's channel. That's one. And then there's another one.
Just in that channel.
Well, there are a lot of people in that channel. It's not the easiest, it's not the best hint because it's like so many people go through that channel. Almost 618. Yeah, that's a
Uh,
hint. 1618 is a great hint. 1618 is a great hint because it's at the end of the name.
I'll go. I don't know. I'll go with.
Well, what character would you?
I'll have to take a guess.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Bowser. That's my guess.
Good guess. Good guess. It's like you're in the neighborhood. Not the answer we were looking for. We were looking for Goomba, our good friend Goomba. Nightbot 1618.
Goomba. Okay.
Goomba,
okay.
yeah. So when you see Goomba in chat, you'll know that our friend is also a Mario character. It's pretty good stuff. He's a good friend of ours. So like
That was all right.
that was a good one. That was
Spoiled.
chat. Y'all performed admirably. I gave chat the opportunity to give the answer, and they decided not to. That's phenomenal conviction on your end. Well, really well done. I love your integrity there. All right.
They want their points.
We're up to 11 points. I'll give you one more. I did. Your camera went out though again, Rob. Just
Oh no. Hold on. Let's try something.
so as you get that back together, I'll give you one more question. Of the first 4 Super Mario games, so 1, 2, 3 in Super Mario World, which of these games offered the continue feature?
1, if you hold A. 2, it also had a continue feature. And you said 4?
Yeah, there are 4. So including Super Mario World, so that's the 4th one.
1, 2, 3, and 4?
Wait a minute, you can hold A to continue? I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hold A to continue on the world that you're on. So you can
wow.
continue in Super Mario. You can continue in all of them.
I didn't know this. I think you deserve 2 points for that. So I'm gonna give you 2 points. Congratulations,
Yeah.
you got 11 out of 12. Man, that is amazing. Thank you so much. Wow, that is so good. You even scooped me on a question.
Yeah, try it out.
That's
You
great.
can continue.
I should try that.
I don't remember if I think it might be limited to 3 times on
Oh,
Super
okay.
Mario Bros. 1, but you can still continue
Oh, that's
on the
great.
original. Like in the start of the world. So if you die at like 8-4, you'll start at 8-1.
I love it. Miss Verame says he had to get you back for that last question. That's true. I did get you pretty good on one of the questions, so that was great, Rob.
That was a tough one. These are good questions.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I really enjoyed that category. It was really fun to write that. And obviously, I will give you like a bonus one. Do you remember the 4 types of Hammer Brothers in Super Mario Brothers 3? There are 4 of them.
4 types?
Mm-hmm. Like they did different things. They threw different types of things, basically. Or not even throw different types. There's 4 different types of. Because similar to like Koopa Troopas, like they had like the red ones and you had the green ones.
Right. We're talking about the ones on the map that would move around.
Well,
And-
that doesn't really count because that's just the map. But in the actual gameplay, like there were also 4 different types of Hammer Brothers. So there were the regular ones, and then there were 3 others.
I feel like there's ones that threw. Oh, I guess I'm not totally sure.
Mhm.
There's ones that like what they threw different weapons. How do
Yeah.
you distinguish between them? The weapons that they threw?
Right. Well, in the case of 2 of
Hammers.
them, but then there's like
Can one of them throw boomerangs?
yes. So that's 1. So that's 2 of them. So regular and boomerang.
Hammers, boomerangs. I can't think of what the other ones
This is tough.
threw. Did they throw axes?
Kind of along the lines of that. I'll just give you that one because that's hard. There's one that's called Sledge because he was huge. He was in Giant World. So like when they land on the ground.
Okay, yes. All right. So the big one.
Mm-hmm.
What's the 4th one?
So the 4th one is Fireball. So once in a while, it was rare, but you would run into like a challenge where the Hammer Brother was just throwing fireballs at you, or they were spitting fireballs at you.
Wow. I don't even remember that.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. Like it's like maybe
Very good.
2 times in the whole game.
Good
Like
trivia.
you saw. Yeah, but you did really well in that trivia. I feel like you did so much better than most people would do at that trivia. Like that was really good. So big time props. We're almost as
I'm
shade.
glad.
What do you?
That was a good challenge. I haven't played Super Mario Brothers in a while, but that did pretty well.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, definitely, as you mentioned, like if you haven't played the game intimately, I can imagine that being tough to answer. So you did, yeah, really, really good stuff. Miss Fairmay says Davey's just making it up. Don't worry, Rob. It's not. I don't think I was making it. Well, oh. Let's continue with the questions. So we have 3 left in the queue. Let's go roll these out. Miss Fairmay with a question. What's one thing that's important to you that you haven't done yet?
Man, there's a lot of things I haven't done yet. There's a lot of things I haven't done yet. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Man, I don't know. I'm kind of stumped a little bit on how to answer that. I've done a lot of things that have been important to me, like release an album or release original music. I've had 2 albums the past 3 years, and I've done some video game albums. And then important, there's things I would like to do, but they're important to me, and there are goals, but they're not necessarily. It's so important. Playing PAX, for example, main stage on PAX was like a top goal for 88-bit, and then I hit that a couple years ago, 2022 or 2021. It was I forget which year, but one thing like, man. The thing I really want to say that is important to me, that actually is important, is so I've been making a living as a musician for a while now, for like 15 years, but I always feel like I'm barely getting by. So, and it's not a hard, not a like easy thing to like quantify, but to be able to get by a little easier, where I'm not, to have a little more stability as a musician, that is pretty important to me and something I'm always striving for. And though I've been able to make it work, it's you're always constantly worrying about when's the next thing going to come in, when's the next gig or opportunity to come through. And thankfully, you just gotta trust that things do come through. And even like people who are more successful than I am, like even talking to them sometimes, it's like, yeah, that fear is kind of always there, but I guess that's something I haven't quite achieved yet, and maybe I never will, but I hope so. And which is a sense of stability in my career choice.
Oh, I understand completely. Yeah, I mean, that would be such a blessing for any of us, and I do hope that you have that. It would be great if you did have that moment, because I think you've been really kind to all of us, and we'd be so happy for you if better, or if a more stable. Was that right? Like more stability in your career.
Yeah, I mean that's why people leave music. That's why people who are super talented. So many people I know, and I have all the respect for them for making this decision. So many people I know have like, I have to get a different job, or I have to change careers because I can't deal with it's too much stress, not knowing where my income is going to come from month after month, or it's just a lot of hustle. Like you don't get a lot of rest, and it just wears people down. So I don't have any other choice in my heart. Like I'm always going to do music. I feel compelled to do it. If I'm not working on it, if I'm not doing music, I'm unhappy, and I love doing it. So like I guess I accept that, like that's how I am, and it drives me to do the things I do in music. And it has paid off in wonderful ways. I've met so many amazing people, and I have an amazing community that supports me. And I'm going to keep doing it no matter what, like regardless of the success I have, unless I was absolutely forced to do something else. But even then, I would always at least do it on the side. But yeah, to have more financial stability.
I love how people are rooting for you right now. And Sarah says Twitch partner will be your next accomplishment, and there's so many like up arrows next to that. Like, this is great. Like I want that too. So, and if you want to help make it happen, you can just hang out with Rob. I mean, your next stream is tomorrow, right? Tomorrow night.
Yep, 8 Eastern time.
I love that.
8 to midnight. No, 7 7 o'clock. Wrong
7?
time. 7 o'clock Eastern time.
No worries. Well, we can be there early.
Thanks for the follow, Dallas Arlo.
Dallas, thank you so much
Appreciate
for
that.
hanging out. And give me a shout out, Dallas Arlo, too, who's also an awesome musician here on Twitch. Still good to see you, Dallas. Thank you so much for the follow of Rob's channel. That's really kind of you. Sevier says, "You've got this, Rob. You're a legend in all ways." Absolutely. A lot of us saw firsthand in person in October, and I'm sure many people have seen it at other events. It's really cool to get to know what you do. And Miss Fairmay, thank you very much for the question. That's a great question. And so next from Sarah Mahoney Music, the question: what new VGM arrangement or VGM arrangement are you most excited to work on this year?
I have a backlog of 88-bit stuff that I haven't recorded. Like even the Marble Madness thing that I performed live, I just got stuck and I stopped short halfway through it. So I've got 1 through 4, and there's 2 more to go, and I have to record those. I'm really excited to actually. There's the whole Final Fantasy soundtrack. I'm almost completed. There's like 3 cues that I have yet to finish recording, and then once I get those arranged, then I can start the process of like practicing them and start recording them one by one. That's on the goal list this year to record that. So, and especially with Final Fantasy continuing to be such a huge factor in gaming, I would love to get that one done. So I want to go with those 2, Marble Madness and Final Fantasy. But then the other things come by too that I'm working on. But those are 2 of my own projects that I really feel I need to get done, and excited to get done.
I think I can speak for others. I'm excited to hear what that sounds like. That sounds pretty cool. I think one of the cool things about your particular brand of VGM music is like it's a lot of games that I'm actually familiar with. I think that's not always the case, because I know there are a lot, as I mentioned, like I haven't been up on the gaming scene a lot lately, so I think that that you lean on NES games is pretty cool, because these are games I actually remember, and it's nice to see. There's like a sense of nostalgia that comes with it too. Like it's really neat.
Yeah, nostalgia is a big part of it for a lot of people, but I've also found that when I've done concerts, like when I first started doing 88-bit, I didn't realize there was a video game music scene at all. I knew there was a classical music scene, and I viewed it as contemporary classical music, and I was like, that's my audience. I'm going to try to attract the contemporary classical music audience. And I'm actually in a contemporary classical music group called No Exit. I've been in another group called 51XO Experimental Orchestra, and I've done a lot with contemporary classical music. So that was my drive, to reach people who wouldn't recognize or appreciate this music. And I found that a lot of people who never, older than us, who didn't really grow up with games, or if they did, it was just like their kids who played it and it was just toy music. I found that when they hear it on a piano played live, they're just like, wow, I can't believe that was from a video game. And I loved that. And so that's the kind of response I get. It's like people will respond really positively to hearing video game music on instruments. When they hear the bleep bloops, they immediately can't really get into that. They turn that off. But when they hear like a human expression of that music, they can appreciate it a lot more.
Pretty cool. Yeah. And it definitely, I think adding the character of a classical music ensemble to that, it just increases the dimension of how good that music is. You're right. It's really cool. Sarah Mahoney, thank you so much for the question, and make sure to follow our friend Sarah Mahoney Music. Pinball, what's going on? Pinball, so good to see you. I felt music in video games is as important as it is in a movie. It sets the tone for the entire experience. You're right. It's huge. Like, I think a big reason why Super Mario Brothers is popular is because of that theme song that everybody knows, right? So, would you subscribe to that too, Rob?
The importance of video game music? Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely important.
Yeah.
Especially that game. Especially every game. That one game, it's so catchy. Super Mario Brothers theme is so catchy. Zelda, though, it's like same composer, Koji Kondo, for Zelda and Super Mario Brothers. Zelda theme. Let's keep it. It's just so, I don't know, like it's got this fanfare type feel to it.
Mhm.
March, kind of like March-like, but it's like explorative. It has like a great, like you're going on an adventure feeling to it. I once read and heard, I don't know, I actually don't know how true it is, but I feel like it's true that before Koji Kondo wrote that, they were using Ravel's Bolero as the theme for that game, which is also similar. Well, it's kind of fanfare-y, but it's more drawn out. It's a lot different. It does not quite the same feel. It's not as jovial, and it would be a different feel. And actually, there's a couple games in the NES where music's different, like from the Famicom version versus the NES version, or Sonic CD is a great example. The entire soundtrack for Sonic CD is different from the Japan version versus the US version. And so you can compare. You can, if you take out your nostalgia, which is tough, but you can listen to different versions and see how they compare, how they feel. Rygar is a favorite example of mine. The Famicom version of the Rygar soundtrack is a lot like heavier and kind of darker. And then there are four or five tracks that are 4 or 5 tracks that are different in the American version. And the American versions are a little more like upbeat and more triumphant sounding. And it makes a difference. It makes the game feel different with the different music. So yeah, video game music is absolutely has a huge impact on the game.
I love it.
And I would say almost more so than movies, and especially early video games, because movie music almost always is playing a background role. The focus is the characters on screen and the words that they're saying. And so music doesn't really take the forefront unless it's some sort of like montage moment. And those moments are very powerful. But in video games, especially early games where there's no like characters or voices you have to compete with, that's all the sound pretty much. It is still background to the game and the action on screen, but sonically it is a lot of times the foreground.
I love this. It's so true. It really is. Like, and I think if you talk about arcade games, even more so, because they didn't even have like, because like Pac-Man is just like, well, Pac-Man's not a good example because the music's only at the beginning. But you have a lot of games like Dig Dug, for example, and Mappy, and movie and games like that where music was driving the game, and it is really cool to see that in action. So you're absolutely right. It is like it identifies the game in a lot of ways. So it's pretty cool. Now we have a lot to catch up in 100. Oh gosh, Pinball, thank you for the 100 bits. Sound like exactly what Rob said. I love that. I love that. Yeah. Till comments from Dallas Arlo. I have a bone to pick with Bolero. Ravel, right? The trombone solo is on every major orchestra audition list. Probably played it 10,000 times.
Oh wow, you're an orchestral musician, Dallas, an orchestral trombonist. Wow, okay, much respect. Auditioning for orchestras is quite a task. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, no small feat.
Dallas, do you play in an orchestra? No?
Yeah, Dallas, we'd love to know. Rahamos says agrees in ostinato. I don't know what that means.
Ostinato? It's a word for a repeating phrase.
Oh.
So,
it's funny. Are you familiar with Isao Tomita? Like, he is really amazing. He was really one of the early pioneers of electronic music. And he did a bolero too, and doing that with a Moog synthesizer was pretty nuts. Like,
wow,
it's kind of amazing stuff. But that just was reminded of that because it was the same. Like they basically did the same piece. Ravel should be on Rob's $69 category. Oh, I'm not familiar with this.
I wish I could play more Ravel. I've learned I've learned like only a few of his works. And mostly never complete, like just parts of it. But he's like one of my favorite composers. Like he's number one or number two. I absolutely love his music.
I love it. Actually, I was just about to get to that. I had my own question in the queue. I'll get to that. We'll expand on that a little bit later. But first, Dallas says, I don't play full-time in an orchestra, but I play around Detroit. That's cool.
Right on.
Yeah.
We're close. I'm in Cleveland.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like you all you're geographically close to one another. That's pretty cool. It's confusing because his name is Dallas, so I think it's an unfair thing to do. You just think that everybody
Right. I assume he's in Texas.
Yeah. But no, actually that's just his name. All right, so Jason L. Rush, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. A question from Jason, our good friend. What major event most led you to the musical path that you are on now?
I guess it wasn't like a specific event. Like I've grown up with music being around me. One of my earliest memories of like really loving music was my sister, older sister. She's 12 years older than me. I have memory of her playing piano and playing like, and I loved it. And I would like just run around the room and like just run as fast as I can and ask her to play faster. And like I thought it was so fun. And so she inspired me to want to play piano. If she didn't play piano, who knows if I probably wouldn't. So that I'd have to go with that. That's absolutely sparked my love of piano and then essentially ultimately music as a whole.
Oh my goodness, that is a really cool memory. Like I can that. How cool of your sister to be able to play play music. I can barely talk. We got a raid from Gibson Lens. What's going on, Bert? Oh my goodness, so good to see ya. Let's see. I predict a riot. I predict a riot. Oh my goodness, Gibson Lens, what's up? Welcome, Raiders. Nice to meet you all here. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Davey. I'm a variety streamer out
What's
of
up, Gibson Lens?
Now you know Gibson well,
Thanks
am I
for
right?
being on in.
Absolutely. Our good collective, our mutual friend Rob Kovacs is our guest tonight. Gibson, so good to see you. Now you know Gibson very well, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he a mod for your channel too, or is he?
Yes, he is a mod.
Nice.
I think, the second person to mod him by like a week.
Ooh, fascinating.
I know someone modded him like a week before me.
Okay. Well,
So one of the first to mod him, and now look at him. He's mods so many different music channels.
And also plays a little bit too, which is pretty cool stuff. So.
Yeah, then he started streaming. He started streaming piano, and he's an excellent piano player. Plays lots of mix of stuff, a lot of rock, esoteric rock, a lot of compositions of his own, video game music of his own, other video game music of others. Fan of the opera music, and huge supporter of the music community, and he's been so supportive of me, and I've met him through Twitch when we've gotten to hang out. We got to hang out at TwitchCon last year, which was a lot of fun, and we'll be back at TwitchCon this year too.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, so Vegas.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like I'll be in the mix for that. I've already. Yeah, all right. Hopefully I find both.
Yeah, you should. I hope so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we have a decent shot at it. I mean, first of all, it's obviously really fairly close to where I live anyway. So yeah, I think we make it happen. Jason, thank you for your question. And let me ask this next question from Sarah Mahoney Music, which is, if you wrote your own video game, Rob, what would the plot be in 30 seconds or less?
Oh man. If I made my own video game, I'm just coming up with tropes. I'm just coming up with video game tropes. You are in outer space and you have to fight the aliens that are coming to attack your planet, and you're in a spaceship and you're the only one who could do it. that's
like a lot of video games.
Which is like every 80s video game.
I know. I would play that though.
Give me 30 seconds or less. That's all I can think of.
That's not bad. You'll definitely get some people to play that game though. Jeff, let's see, Jeffy's Dios.
Jefe.
Oh, Jefe. Jefe's Dios. Oh, I love it. Jefe, I love it. Jefe's Dios. Speedrun his question. That's great. You did. That's pretty good. Crazy. Nice to see you too. Closest game I think of FTL. Rahomo says, a video game about inventing video games. That's kind of nuts. Imagine the meta of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video game simulator.
Love it. So For those of you joining us from the raid, first of all, everyone else in our chat, please give our friend Gibson Lund a follow. As you can see, he's a really good friend of all of us, and I would appreciate your follow because like he is very very cool at what he does. So definitely check out his stream too. And those of you joining us, as if they weren't already, I assume most of them are, but if you're not following Rob Kovacs, I absolutely recommend you do so. You can click his name in the title of the stream tonight, and click shoot a follow. We'd appreciate it greatly. Meta Rahoma says, "I'm so meta, even this acronym." Oh, ha ha ha! Love it. Adventure construction set. I'm old. Oh, Gibson says adventure construction set. Like that would be like the game. That's not too bad. I would actually be all right with that. Okay, so let me just slide over to this question. And Rob, this is from me. You mentioned Ravel. In addition to Ravel, who are some of your favorite composers, whether they be VGM or classical or composers of movie soundtracks?
Steve Reich is a huge favorite. He's been a huge influence on me. I've got to meet him several times and played and studied his music. And the first time I heard it, I was really blown away by it. Ravel. Bach's very brilliant. Although I don't listen to a ton of Bach anymore. And then I always love Hip Tanaka. He's one of my favorites. I think he's so unique in his like melodies and harmonic language. So those are some of my favorites. I want to say Takashi Tateishi. He's really hasn't done a lot, but Mega Man 2 is just really super fun.
Yeah, it's undeniable. Really great music. Yeah, really good. Okay, I think that is it for the queue. So if anyone wants to add to it, feel free. But this is your last call, so I'll just give you like a minute or two. Crazy says Lincoln logs a digital roguelike. That would be something. Just in time. Let's see. Anything else in the chat I should catch up on? No, I don't think so. But Gibson, I mean, I would love to hear a question from you, my friend. So let me know.
From Gibson?
Yeah, sure. I'm always curious.
Gibson's already asked me all the questions that.
Oh, is that right?
Direct line of communication.
Oh,
but if he had a question, I'm sure I would answer.
That's cool. And I know you take questions in stream too, and that's always cool to see that.
Yeah, we have an AMA little question, or just sometimes people will ask random things. How long for you, Davey? How long have you been doing this interview? How long have you been streaming, and how long have you been doing? Like, I've been
streaming this show since it's been over 2 years now. So I started in May 2021, Star Wars Day. It's pretty cool, and it's been a great ride.
May 2021.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've done a lot in 2 years.
And were you streaming before that?
I was doing a pod, which I actually still do, but I was doing a podcast before that. Just my friends and I were talking about sports and things like that. So I got an experience talking to people online, but I haven't really had this extensive of a interview show where I'm interviewing different people each week. It's pretty cool. I've really enjoyed getting to know
a lot of work interviewing people.
Yeah, but it's been labor of love, absolutely, and it's been. The big reason I do it is just because I love getting to know all of you. You all are cool people. It's really fun to share that with everybody else and get the word out about all the cool people who are here. So, if you get 1 or 2 new follows, which you did, I think that's a huge success for me. I think it's great. I think it's really awesome to see people finding you and hopefully more of the same.
Yeah, no, thank you for the opportunity to have me on your show and all the really thoughtful questions. Like I said, doing interview shows is a lot of work. You have to research everybody and find out what they do and what they're about, and ask things that are relevant. And you did a nice job. So
thank you, Rob.
Thank you just for having this opportunity for them to promote Twitch musicians. It's really great of you.
It really warms my heart that the response has been so great, and I see it tonight too. Ohio IT, what's good to see you. Welcome in. Shout out to Rob and Dave. Rob Kovacs and Davey's eating a sandwich from JMO Piano on his channel. We love both you guys. I remember you from, I remember you, Ohio. So good to see you. Thank you so much, Ohio. Very kind. Yeah. King says it only gets better from here. I love that, King. I appreciate that. Like, that's very kind. Thank you. Sarah says, I want to do a sports podcast. Yeah, message me. I can show you about that. Not as, those are fun to do too. It's a different thing though, you know. Like you have to, obviously, if you don't follow sports, it's probably not going to be very interesting. But if you do, it's pretty fun. So, yeah, I can show you. Let's see.
So when you're not interviewing musicians, you do that once a week. No, do you do it once a week or more than once?
Usually,
and then what do you do between those?
That's a hell of a question. We do a lot of goofy stuff. Like, well, as you saw, like I play music on some nights, so I do that. I just started learning how to play though. So it's really kind to have all your support for that. I'm also eating food, like legit. Like I'm just like my whole stream is just like I'm trying this out, and I'm baking. I have a true variety stream, right? I really do a lot of things. In the beginning, I was playing a lot of classic.
On brand.
Yeah. Thanks. And I like just chatting with chat too. We've done karaoke shows, like and as I mentioned, the podcast is now like part of the streaming schedule. So we actually do talk sports on this channel. So it's kind of cool to do that as well. So got a little bit of everything actually. So it's kind of interesting how much we do, but it definitely centers around this show, which is really awesome. Like I think it's great to see the response. Yeah, do I have that about right, King? Like, did I pretty much? Oh my gosh, look at your Adam's here. Rock the Piano, what's going on?
Rock the Piano.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Shout out Rock the Piano. It's good to see you. How's everything? How's the little one doing? All the sprots. Okay, who is first to get a sandwich tattoo? Says King. Ooh, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, folks? What do you think, Rob? Like, I'm not really.
What's the question?
Who's gonna get a sandwich tattoo between the two of us? Like, who would get it first?
Between me or you?
Yeah.
Obviously, you.
Yeah, probably me.
I don't even eat sandwiches. I also don't have any tattoos. Do you have any tattoos?
No, I'm not a tattoo guy. But if I did it first, that'd probably be it. Sandwich something somewhere. I'm not gonna specify where, but just somewhere. Miss Mary May says I nominate Davey. Yeah, I think that's a good prediction. Rock the Piano says good luck with the partner push. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Rock the Piano. I appreciate it. It's going well. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but I'm hoping to get this week. I'm hoping to get 3 streams in a row of plus 75, and then I will submit my application. That means I will have a solid month of plus 75 streams, and then we'll submit. So my next stream is tomorrow, 7:00. Please show up. Please come hang out. Even if you can't stay the whole time, even just lurking or leaving the browser open is so helpful at this time.
Well, Rob, we'd be glad to. I mean, I hope that all continues because it is on a good path, and we're rooting for you. King says Davey would get a charcuterie board, I think, or a BBQ platter. 2 predictions: a riot and sunsets. I love it. I do predict a riot quite a lot.
It's good. Chasing sunsets.
Oftentimes we get it too. So 2 predictions are right, and that Davey will get a sandwich tattoo. That's fantastic. So we'll do one more question, then we'll go and close the queue. T-Bone Mama with the final question of the night. Did you play anything before I showed? Maybe if you're taking requests, Final Fantasy theme. I'm not sure what you meant, but we did play some examples of things before, T-Bone. But that's a great question. If you're taking requests, Final Fantasy theme, would you be willing to play like a lick of it, perhaps? Because
yeah, I get that.
Cool.
I see. She has 2 questions. Have you gone on tour, and are you going on tour?
Oh, gotcha.
And did you play anything before I showed? No, I didn't really play anything. T-Bone Mama. Final Fantasy theme, like the Final Fantasy 7 main theme.
I'm assuming it's 7 because I feel like that's the one that's popuper. And on your
yeah
channel.
I mean, I can do the Final Fantasy 1 theme, which is not as popular, but that is that's what it's
That'd
called.
be interesting.
But yeah, I could do Final Fantasy 7 main theme. You know it. All right, here we go, T-Bone Mama. Let's see. Here we go. So this is my own arrangement of this theme. Most of you already know it. Most of you are here Not everybody, but if you don't know it, I arranged the Final Fantasy main theme originally for Mega Ran's album, his Black Materia remake album, and then I made a version of it for that I released myself. But he was the reason I did this in the first place. So here it is, and it won an award. It won last year. It won Best Acoustic Video Game Music Cover,
Ooh.
and for the Game Remix Awards, which I was super honored about. And it is also available on musicnotes.com. So I hope y'all like it. Here you go.
That's amazing.
Thank you,
stuff.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Amazing stuff. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Rob. That's so good. Holy cow. Rock the piano.
Thank you so much.
I love this. Thank you for the claps in the chat, everybody. That's fantastic. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mirror the claps. Absolutely. Just terrific stuff.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Now, the sound quality of that is probably not great coming through Guest Star, which makes everything mono.
Mm-hmm.
But if you come to my stream, you'll hear it full stereo, nice, professionally mic'd piano here, but you'll hear it in stereo, which makes really a huge difference.
All the more reason to give our friend a follow if you're not already. It's an amazing time. Exclamation point guest, or click the name or click Rob's name in the title of the stream. Rock the piano with a funny. Very impressed with Rob's playing. Not impressed with my hotel's Wi-Fi. Ooh, I hear that. Yeah. It was just terrific stuff. You know. Amazing. I was actually going to ask about your training, getting to that level of piano. Like, did you have lessons growing up? Were there other forms of training? Did you go to school and things like that to acquire the skills you have on piano?
Yeah, a lot of training. So, I tinkered around as a kid, and I started taking lessons when I was 7, and um, then in high school, first year of high school, I started taking from someone at the Cleveland Institute of Music, which was very classically intensive, and I didn't really click with that teacher. And then I went and I took jazz and rock lessons from another piano teacher, which was great. And then I started taking lessons at Baldwin Wallace, and then I went to school there for music theory, and that really improved my playing. A lot of classical training there, and then so that's where I got most of my training in music. I have a degree in music theory, and then a lot of the rest of it's been on my own or through gigs. I've done a lot of gigs of anything, pretty much anything that involves a piano, musical theater, music directing, church music, playing in rock bands, dueling pianos, um, contemporary classical concerts. So, and now I also teach at Baldwin Wallace. I teach music composition and songwriting at that same college, at the conservatory there. So that's mostly my training. Then a couple lessons from other musicians here and there. That's it.
Nice. That's amazing. And kudos to you're getting a gig teaching at that school too. That's really cool. Super cool. Um,
Yeah, that happened. You're 2.5 years, 2 years ago
mhm.
during the pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I jumped in mid semester for a teacher that got let go
Ooh.
mostly because he just wasn't like showing up, I guess,
Oh.
or stopped being reliable. So kids were complaining and they let him go,
Okay.
which is also very awkward because he's a friend of mine
Yeah.
and I've not talked to him since.
Oh boy.
But I'm honored to be there, and they wanted someone who can teach something a little more contemporary and teach music that is not just classical. Like someone who could teach contemporary and like popular music. So I'm happy to be there and fill that role. And it's great working with students who are super talented and seeing what kids are doing these days, and it's really fun. But I'm a big proponent of like if you want to get better at music, like study it.
Hmm.
Some people resist. So many people with for whatever reason with music or art, they resist learning about it. They resist like taking lessons or studying it or studying with someone. And you don't have to, but I think a lot of the resistance is what holds people back. And I think if you feel resistance to like wanting to learn more or studying theory or studying music or taking lessons with someone, if you notice a resistance to that, like ask yourself what that resistance is about. Why are you holding yourself back? And try to answer that question, and then hopefully you can find a reason, and then you can actually just go and study it. Because the more you can learn about music, the better. It just opens up so many more things with music, and it's such a joy to be able to play.
That's so well said. That's so well said, Rob. And it's a good one. It's a good note to end on. No pun intended. But and let me just catch up. Oh, one question from Adam Rock the Piano. You played at Howl once upon a time, right?
Yeah, I played at Howl at the Moon, which was it's a national company that is dueling pianos. So I
Mm-hmm.
played in Cleveland for about 2 solid years, and then 2 years when I lived in New York City, I'd fly back to play different weekends shows, and I also played in New York City at a couple random dueling piano bars. One I'd fill in at Sweet Caroline's, and then I played at this bar in Long Island, which I don't remember. Kodiak's was the name of that place. So yeah, and I did some small traveling with dueling pianos, but yeah, I learned a lot from that. One of the most valuable lessons I learned from that was not having to know every note perfectly, being able to just like get the essence of the song, just kind of get the rhythm and the chords, and be able to sing the song, and not worry about every single piano note, which was up until then. If I were to learn a song, it was like, here's exactly what I'm going to play, and it's going to be this way every time. And so that was very, very freeing.
I love that. I love. Yeah, it's interesting anecdote, Rob. Absolutely, it's kind of neat to see how the spirit can be the thing at a venue such as that. As an inspirator, so good to see you. As a talk show host as well, it's good to see you, my friend. Shout out as an inspirator. Rahamo says in stereo we're available on his stream, your stream. That's where it's available.
Yes, it's stereo is available on my stream. So please do come over there tomorrow, 7 o'clock, 7 to midnight.
I love it.
We'll probably go about 4 or 5 hours.
Okay. T-Bone
Um,
says, I will do
and
my best to be there tomorrow. Thank you so much for playing my favorite track of yours.
Oh, awesome. Who said that?
T-Bone Mama.
No, you're very welcome, T-Bone. Thank you. Thank you for requesting. I hope to see you there. And the other thing about partner too, I mentioned this on stream, but like, um, I feel very much like streaming is like a team. Like I have a team of moderators who are really close, and they help me out so much. Um, and as well as like the people who view, like you invested in like the streams that you watch. And I want to make. I know people will say like they're proud of me, but I want to make that's the motivation. Like I want to make my mod team proud. I want them to be able to say like I mod for a partnered streamer, and I want my viewers to be able to say like, yeah, I watch this partnered music streamer on Twitch, and I'm a part of that community. Like that's a big part of my motivation for wanting to reach partner. So thank you all who's been helping me get there and supporting and pushing with me.
I'm rooting for you too, Rob. That's just great. T-Bone says, love you guys. We love you too, T-Bone. Thank you so much. And Bicena, what's going on? It's good to see you. Hello there. Yeah. Welcome in. Let's see. Let me just finish the last of this, and we'll go ahead and rate out.
I want to respond to Dallas. Dallas, you know some people who went to Baldwin Wallace? Awesome. Who do you know? Actually, one of my fellow classmates was nicknamed Dallas. He was from Dallas, and that's what everybody called him. Trumpet player. But yeah, who do you I don't know. I went there. I was a student there between 2000 and 2004. So if you know anyone around that era, I might know them.
I'm eager to hear your response to this, Dallas. As Dallas was saying, small world indeed. I love it. As it says, both you and Rob are always so inviting, but Rob in particular always makes me feel welcome as I work and lurk, especially with all the calls I do. Rob always makes sure I'm around for my song and always greets people and makes people feel welcome. An amazing, beautiful soul.
Ah, that's so sweet. Thank you, Ozza. That's great to hear. Yeah, I try to make everybody feel welcome, and I want everybody is welcome. I want them to feel that way. I think it's hard as a stream grows, and it gets busier, and there are more like inside jokes and history with the stream. I think it becomes harder and harder to be a new person in a stream like that and to feel not left out. So that's something I try to always be like aware of. And the keep trying to like, welcome people and get them in on the jokes. Like we do a lot of Call Me Maybe, just randomly throw in a lot of, I'll randomly mash up a lot of songs together.
Yeah.
And there isn't much more to it than it's just like kind of funny and unexpected to, you never know when you're going to hear these random melodies in songs where they shouldn't be in. And Call Me Maybe has been a favorite, but I'm glad you feel welcome, Ozza. And thank you for being there. Thank you for lurking.
Yep. Carly greater than Taylor. That's funny. Sarah says not a Jesse McCartney reference. Oh no. Dallas says my era is around 2012, 2016-ish.
Probably don't know a lot of don't know many. I might have heard some names, like some of maybe the musical theater people, but yeah, probably don't know many people then.
Interesting. I have a redeem from Pinball Sorcerer called Velveeta, and really the way it works is you gather around the screen, and then you just kind of talk a little bit, and then you go Velveeta. That was loud. Sorry. I didn't mean to blow out your ears. Velveeta. Like we do good. A lot of.
That's great. I have not seen that one.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Pinball, for the redeem. Let's just finish up the chat. King says we appreciate the music educators. I'm trying to find out where this is. We appreciate the music educators of the world, and we love our music educators, and I completely agree with that. Really great. People can learn the in-jokes during hype trains. Oh, I love it. Cheese. Okay, from the top. Yeah, that's, yep. Cheese is what it's about. Velveeta plus beef, it's what's for dinner. Yeah, I'm into it. Whew. This has been a really lively chat. Everybody in our chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Shout out Cheese Foods. Yeah, you know it. Cheese Whiz and Velveeta. Did you ever have like when you were in high school? Did you? I mean, when you were in like elementary school, did you ever have like those crackers with like the little wad of cheese at the end, and then you would like use the little red stick to scoop it out to spread on the cheese or on the cracker?
Like Lunchables, I think those are called.
Kinda,
Those still
yeah.
exist.
They still exist. They sure do.
I feel like I had one like fairly recently, like this year.
Oh
I
wow!
saw one. Yeah, I don't know
Wild.
why. I like that's not something I would necessarily buy. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like this weird cheese substance and a little like pretzels, perfectly smooth, perfectly cylindrical pretzel stick.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it's-
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
comfort.
I had a lot. Had that a lot.
I did too when I back in the day. Yeah, remember the red sticks? You remember
All right, there's like a red stick too, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
the cheese with a red stick? I don't know how you.
But you know where I had it? Here's why I had the airplane. I had it on an airplane. That's why I had it.
Yeah, that's a good. That makes sense. That tracks. That really tracks.
There aren't many options. But
Yeah,
that was one of them.
it's like peanuts and that basically. It's gonna take a while for me to find this on Google, so we'll just say King says that's not necessarily something I'd personally admit to buying. Oh my gosh, Sarah, thank you for the gifts of the Rob. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. We are getting close to that sub goal, this indeterminate sub goal, which I don't know what to do with yet. I will do something for that sub goal. I don't know what. We'll figure it out. But thank you so much for the subs tonight. Not even
What are all
peanuts
these funny
anymore.
emotes?
Yes.
What do you got here?
Yes. Oh yeah, check out the sandwich show emotes. They're really fun. Rob is studying the sandwich show's emotes.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So many.
Yep.
Is this raise the roof or
Yeah,
you're like?
yeah, you got it. We
I
call it.
don't, I don't know. Which
Yeah,
one
we
is
got
it?
it. You got it.
Like I don't know.
Sub goal equals X
It's
XL
also like a raise the roof type thing. So
Yeah,
you could be dancing.
that's what Pump It Up does too. Like when you redeem Pump It Up, I just basically do that in full screen. Is Velveeta a carb? I couldn't say. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Ooh, that's creative. So, let's see. You got the Pac-Man eating the other sandwiches. That's pretty good. Rob, you need a twerk emote, says Sarah. Oh, thank you.
She
Oz.
would say that.
Yeah. Thank you, Oz. I appreciate that. Great interview. So, Rob, as mentioned, you'll be on tomorrow. Oh, yeah, there you go. There's some more emotes. Thanks for investing.
What is this one?
Wait, which one?
What's going on there?
Oh,
That's so tiny.
There's a long story behind that one. That is basically what is it? King, can you remember what the name of the holiday was? It was like something Fox Day. It's like a Canadian holiday. Or yeah.
Boxing Day?
Let me see if I can look this. There's actually a thing, Guy Fawkes Night. Guy Fawkes is some historical figure that I'm not really that familiar with. And it was kind of yeah, it's a British thing. Okay, Guy Fawkes Day. So we were looking at
that?
inappropriate cakes, and that was like one of the most inappropriate cakes. So I'll show you a larger version of that just so you can get an idea what that's about. But
I'll just take your word for it.
yeah, I think we'll just roll with that. Yeah, it's
What's
kind
that
of
one?
it's kind of
Sock?
infamous.
What is that?
Foxgiving. Remember the 5th of November. Well, how have I not?
What's this one?
Let me see. Oh, approval. Sandwich approved. That's the approval. It's a thumbs up. Yeah.
That's a thumb. Oh, it's a white
It's a thumbs up
thumbs
over a
up.
sandwich.
What's the hand? What's behind it? Oh, I see. It's
It's
all
a long,
everything's white
like,
and it's
hoagie
like
roll.
a
Yeah.
gold sticker. I see. I see now.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And then I said, what
Right
the
on.
fuck? And then emote. Yeah. And everyone follow.
Mentos?
Absolutely. Follow Walk the Piano too. And yes, Mentos. The Mentos, which we cannot do because I'm out of Diet Coke, unfortunately. But if you remember those Mentos, those tricks that we did.
I do.
Ah,
Oh,
good times.
I don't remember you doing it. No.
Yeah. Well, if we'll do them frequently. So if you ever were to stop by on a future date, you'll probably see one. So
You've got 5 double emotes. We got to replace those.
I have how many? Oh, what? Let me see.
You've got the follower emotes being the same as the sub emotes. You got to replace those. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Let's make that happen. You're right. Let's go. So anyway, let's just wrap things up. I'm going to go run some credits and
Davey's tired of me critiquing his emotes.
No,
He's ready to raid out.
uh, well, I could just take a quick BRB and come right back. Would you guys want to hang out for a little bit more? Because I'd be.
I actually should get going. So
Oh, okay. Let's.
you can do that though, but I should get going either way.
Okay, sounds good. Rob, thank you again for doing this with tonight. I do want to run some credits first because we had so much hype tonight. So let's do that, and then I probably will take a BRB before we raid out because I think there's some other things I have to attend to because I have some announcements too. But credits tonight, let's run them. They are incredible, folks. Thank you so much for. Am I on the credits? I'm not on the credits. This is the credits. Here. There we go. There they go. Run them again. But thank you for the raids, Gibson, Lens, and thank you for all the follows and for a lot of follows tonight. Thank you so much, everybody. All the cheers, all the gift subs, folks and Fox. Yeah, Rob's inner partner is talking. Rob is trolling Dave. I think he's ready for a mod sword. You know, you're right. Rob, you definitely have mod credentials. Like I've got to say, that's pretty cool. So thank you again, everybody. Like you're really kind to support. Dallas says it was great to meet you, Rob. Fun as interviews always. Thank you, Dallas. I appreciate that very much. And Adam really rocked the piano. Sarah Mahoney, it's really great to see you stopping by as well. I'm sorry, it seems to be a new thing where my stream just decides it's going to start getting jittery at the end. But thank you again, Rob. Anywhere you want to raid out before as we head out? Feel free to recommend a channel.
Let's see who else is live here.
I am too, Robo. I love that. I'm around in the sub list.
Nice to meet you too, Dallas. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the questions. It's cool you have some Baldwin Wallace connections. I hope to see you tomorrow. And again, yeah, everyone, a lot of you already know, but I'll be live this week, Tuesday and Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern time for about 4 or 5 hours. And then Sunday at 8. And all these streams are pretty important because we're trying to get 3 more plus 75 streams in a row. So thank you all. As far as like people to raid, there's let's see, there's Music is Code.
Mm-hmm.
There's Human Juke. There's Christy Cates.
Mm-hmm.
Any of those 3 would be great picks. Christy Cates is, I don't know if do you know any 3 of them?
I do. I've been to Christy Cates before. I think I had a different time I've rated like all 3 of them. Like it's pretty cool. So
or anyone you want, but those are my 3.
Okay. Those are great. Yeah.
Choices.
Let's see. What sounds good to all of you? And then Rock the Piano also said JMO Piano, which is also a good call. So any of those would be good. Let me think it over. Let's see. Christy Kate. That's not bad.
Julie's also streaming. Julie piano player, singer, songwriter.
Oh yeah, our friend Julie. Julie's great. Thank you so much, Rohomo, for the bits. Yeah, let me think this over. I think we're gonna go. I'll tell you what I think sounds good. Yeah, these all sound pretty good. Now where's Christy Cates? I'm trying to find. Yeah, let's hang out with Christy Cates. That sounds pretty good.
Great choice. I love Christy.
I like it. All right, so we're gonna go start the raid.
She's so smart.
Appreciate. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm into it. Oh, Rob, thank you again. This has been an incredible time. I appreciate you so much. Mods, let's get those raid calls in the chat, and we're gonna start our raid now. We're gonna go head over to Christy Cates. Rohomo, thank you for the 1 bit and the 97 bits.
What's the raid call?
So the raid call, get ready for it.
I'm ready.
All right, mods.
Oh yeah, they can't. There's a delay. They can't hear us yet. Thank you, Davey. Thank you so much for having me. This was like really fun.
So glad to do this, Rob.
I'm glad you asked me, and it's great to be on your show. You've had so many great musicians on your show.
Thank you.
I'm glad to be one of them. And thanks again for all you do for the music community.
You got it, Rob. Thank you so much. All right, folks. There's the board raid. There's a raid call. We love to bork it up in the chat. So there we go. Everyone, let's go head out to Christy Cates. Let's do it. Thank you.
Give me a chance to copy it. Hold on.
Right on. Plenty of time.
I got to delete the copy of the sub raid part.
That is actually
kind of
challenging.
I got to recopy it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Give her that.
There we go.
It's just harder.
I love it.
There we go.
Thanks for
copy mine.
And thank you all for hanging out with us too. Pinball says thanks for being here. Yeah, absolutely, Rob. You're really kind to spend time with us tonight. So friends, if you missed any part of it, you can catch our replay right here on Twitch or go to YouTube tomorrow, and we'll have it up over there on our YouTube channel. Same handle, Davey's Eating a Sandwich. And follow Rob tomorrow. He's back on at around 7 o'clock Eastern. You'll love it. It's partner pushing. Every little bit helps. So it would be awesome. Bye everyone for now. We'll see you at Christy Cates. Make sure to follow Christy Cates when we get there. Bye everyone. We'll take care. See ya. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.